who get it done.
As we plan for our retirement, there are 4 questions we need to ask ourselves or our retirement planning advisor. How much? How long? How safe? And what cost? Let's start with how much. That is, how much income we think we'll need each and every year for the rest of our lives, including all the activities we want to enjoy during our retirement, like travel, recreation, and entertainment. Plus the cost of housing, including repair and maintenance, taxes, insurance, and utilities, as well as the cost of healthcare, including expenses not covered by Medicare.
Enjoy safe, secure lifetime income of 5 to 9% for life, depending on age and deferral period, with no fee deductions and no annuitizing. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so let's compare free in Scottsdale. For more, visit iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com.
Market Wrap host Mo Ansari on Do-It-Yourself Money Management.
Some people do manage money, do it very well. They enjoy doing it. Great, do it. But make sure you have somebody that can back you up. That's just as important. Something happens to you and your husband has no clue of what you were doing. So make sure you get somebody that you develop a relationship of trust for a period of time. It doesn't happen overnight. Trust is earned. You want somebody who gets paid on a quarterly basis, so their interest is there every quarter, and they are going to hold your hand for a lifetime. And that's really proactive management.
If you're ready for some help, call Compact Asset Management at 800-388-9700 and schedule your free consultation with Mo Ansari to learn about his holistic approach to wealth management. Call 800-388-9700. That's 800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds Custodian Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
KQFN AM Tempe, K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM, K240 EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM. Listen to Jim Rome and the Jungle, weekday mid-mornings on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic, live from the Harmon Solar Studios.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
And here we go, everybody. Is this Wednesday? This Wednesday, Keon?
It is a Wednesday.
And a Wednesday edition of the Daily Blender on the big flamethrower 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic, as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in beautiful uptown Scottsdale, part of the CRC Megaplex, the broadcasting giant of the Southwest. Right over there, that's the sexiest man in sports talk radio. That's Keon Rose. My name is Randy White. Jeffrey O'Brien out today on assignment. You are the fourth dimension, and you can be a part of the show. As a matter of fact, I need you to be part of the show. And that's why we're here. This is the most interactive radio program on the radio. And you can contact us and be the centerpiece of this radio program via text line at 888-368-1580. That's text line 888-368-1580. As we begin a Wednesday edition of the Daily Blender. Keon, how was your night?
It was good.
Yeah?
It was good. Pretty chill night. And then
was chilly? Where do you live? Do you live in a colder part of the valley? Or?
I mean, calm. It's heat. It wasn't particularly chilly in Mason. No.
Chillax.
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
Chillaxing, maxing out. And then I went to the gym today and ruined everything. Ruined everything.
Just had to do that, didn't you?
Yeah, I just had to.
The gym.
Yeah. I don't enjoy it. They say that over time you get used to it, you like it. I have gotten used to it. I don't like it. I still don't like it. It's been since January. Still don't like it.
I don't think you ever get used to the gym.
I agree with that.
I mean, I think it's the way you approach it. If you have a good attitude, you look forward to it. But boy, when I was going to the gym, I never looked forward to it.
No, it's working, so I can't complain. But
how much you down?
15.
Good for you.
Yeah.
How many inches you lost?
I
see. That's the real indicator.
I haven't really measured, but I have a couple pairs of pants now that I can't wear. So
because they're
loose.
Uh-huh.
They're loose. Can't. I can wear them with a belt, but it's getting to the point where it kind of bunches up on the side. So it's not.
Yeah. See,
it's not a great look.
You've lost some inches, man. Good for you.
Yeah.
All right. As we get underway here, my night was boring. The same. go home. Well, I was at home yesterday. So, I get done in the studio, have dinner, go to bed. I live a one-dimensional life.
It's not a bad life though.
Go to bed, wake up early.
Like, you know what you're doing, like that's, I like that.
I guess. Tell you what, the Diamondbacks knew what they were doing last night, taking on their NL West foes, the Colorado Rockies, in town for a 4-game set. And we had our ace on the hill, Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen returning to dominant ways after getting, quite frankly, got beat up the last time he was out there. But this time, and the third inning is really the turning point for Zach Gallen. They were hitting the ball. They were hitting the ball pretty good off of him until he turned it around in the third inning. And he stood in there, stood tall for the Diamondbacks, held the final line together, preventing any runs from crossing and setting the tone for a 5-1 win by the Snakes. It wasn't so much his great pitching. It was also some great hitting on the part of the Diamondbacks. And by the way, Corbin Carroll is making a great case to be the National League Rookie of the Year.
It's a strong case. I mean, he's been hitting the ball consistently.
At one time last night, he got on base, stole second, stole third, and scored on a single. I mean, that's playing baseball right there.
That's fun. He's fun to watch. I really enjoy watching him play.
Well, and also, Ketel Marte has been hitting the ball. Don't forget, if you're going to the ballpark and you are a fan of the Diamondbacks, I know there's so few of us. It is the opening. The All-Star voting has been open. So if you want to see some Diamondbacks on the All-Star team, and normally I would say, get out and vote often and early. But listen, we're going to have to get the Diamondbacks out there. I think obviously Zach Gallen needs to be there. I think that Corbin Carroll needs to be there. I think that there's some players on this team that need to be on the All-Star game, and I think it's in Seattle this year. So anyway, Zach Gallen dominant, Diamondbacks scoring 5, which is what they've been doing all season long so far. Is they've been backing up the good pitching that they're getting. And they are continuing to win. Still a game and a half back of the Dodgers, because the stupid Dodgers keep winning.
Stupid Dodgers. I think it's because they're playing my Nationals, and I'm sorry that they can't help.
Well, last night it was Freddie Freeman and somebody else that had to bail them out because they were losing. If it wasn't for the hot hitting Freddie Freeman, who I'd love to hate the guy because he's wearing Dodger blue, but I just can't. He's such a nice guy.
He is. I mean, he was playing for, the rival of my Nats, the Braves, forever. And you can't hate Freddie Freeman. He's one of the best guys in baseball.
One of the nice guys in baseball. Yeah. Yeah. But listen, when you're playing good ball like the Diamondbacks are, and they're playing good ball, they're not lucking into anything. They're earning everything they have. And they've had some great pitching. Their bullpen is suspect, but this is what you have to do when you're in a race right now. And the Diamondbacks are squarely in first place of the 3 wild card spots, and they're a game and a half behind the hated Dodgers of LA. And if they just keep rolling, Carson Kelly on the hill tonight, we'll see what he's got. I mean, it's been a 1-2 punch for the Diamondbacks starting rotation. These two guys go out there and they're pitching really well. And you catch a team like Colorado. This is a team you should take 3 or 4 from. If not, sweep them 4 games. It's not a team that's playing particularly well. And I hate to say that about Colorado. It just seems like these guys just can't seem to get it together, no matter who they put in there to manage. They brought Chris Bryant over. That was a horrible pickup for the Rockies. He's not produced at the level they paid him to produce. You'd like to see him win. Well, I mean, I don't want to see him win.
I mean, not right now. Yeah, when they play somebody else.
Yeah,
sure.
Anyway,
it just seems like every time that they're about to get on track, there's just some mistake that they make, either in somebody that they sign or somebody that they thought was going to be really good just turns out to be kind of a bust. I don't know. I don't think it's a combination of they can't get out of their own way and bad luck.
Now, Carson Kelly, the catcher, you might remember he was injured in spring training this year. He got a forearm a fracture. I think it was a foul ball that got him. Carson Kelly is beginning a rehab assignment this week, and they're looking to see that him produce and get back into playing shape, and so he could rejoin the team here shortly. So that's another bright spot for the Diamondbacks. Although that kid they brought over, Moreno, is it Moreno? Is that his name? That kid they brought over, he's been playing very well. Carson Kelly's not going to just walk into the lineup.
Yeah,
he's going to have to have his A game. But Gabriel Moreno, that's it. It looks like it's going to be sort of a platoon situation between Carson Kelly, Gabriel Moreno. I think that's terrible. Unless Carson Kelly's just hitting the cover off the ball. Moreno's been there. He's done a great job. Why does he have to platoon? I don't see what the deal is.
I don't either. I don't know if I would upset the apple cart on that too much. It's like with Carson Kelly, like this is what you want. You want competition. You want somebody, to push the starter. And then if the starter can't handle that pressure, well, then you put the other guy in.
Yeah.
But, right now, Moreno's playing so well.
So anyway, the Diamondbacks winning last night 5-1, and we will continue to see how this is going to keep going. The Snakes tonight will put on the hill at least right now. I haven't seen the lineups submitted yet. Left-hander Tommy Henry, who's 2-1 with a 4.50 ERA, against the right-handed Connor Siebold of the Rockies. Then Thursday, it's the getaway game before the Braves come to town. It's the getaway game for the Rockies. 12:40 start time there. Make your plans tomorrow. 12:40. Be at the big ballpark downtown. Diamondbacks will feature Zach Davies, who, by the way, this kid, I think he's going to be something. He got tatered here the last time he was up here, but I think once he settles down and he gets some experience under his belt, this Zach Davies kid is going to be something special.
Think so?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I haven't really seen him. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, tomorrow you should catch a ball game, 12:40 downtown at the big ballpark.
I might.
I think you should go there, check it out. Then Friday for the weekend, the Atlanta Braves come to town. Merrill Kelly on the hill. He's 6-3 with a 2.83 ERA at this juncture. So there you go. Diamondbacks in action tonight, tomorrow night, and then Friday night. Well, tomorrow afternoon, and then Friday night. Speaking of Diamondbacks, some other news today. It looks like MLB TV took over. They took over the TV rights for the Padres. Trying to find the story here. Yeah, there's a new TV feature for the Padres. So Bally's Sports Group, the ownership of Bally's, Diamond something. They've gone bankrupt. And they're starting to miss payments, these media rights payments. I was going to talk about this in hour two, but I might as well now. So what's happened is MLB is going to take over and is going to feature Padre games on MLB TV. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. But the Padres will be free to break from its contract with Diamond Sports Group, which is owned by Sinclair. And as they go through the bankruptcy proceedings, and there are many teams that are featured on the Bally's TV. I mean, I think it's the Tigers, the Guardians, the Padres, the Diamondbacks, Brewers.
The Braves are.
Braves, are they on there too?
Yeah, 'cause
I thought they were somewhere else.
No, they took it over right before I moved. So I remember that was a whole big
Braves
thing.
are on Bally's.
Yeah.
So there's a significant amount of major league teams that this is going to impact. And I want to know how this is going to work. The economics of the contract were not able to be met beginning today and continuing on in perpetuity. The MLB will take over the Padres local broadcast, a major transition, but fans are not expected to miss any games. They'll be available through the league's MLB.TV app. Initially, it will be for free through various cable companies on a different channel. MLB has been anticipating something like this for months. I think the whole thing is unfortunate, says MLB Chief Revenue Officer Noah Garden. Really? I mean, did I read that right?
That's the name. I think you did.
Since day one, we had hoped that our partners lived up to their contractual obligations, and through a variety of quite candidly, frankly, mismanagement and continued mismanagement, their company fell on hard times. So immediately affected. Big George, are you listening? Padres live broadcast will be on some channel, on some cable affiliate, and it will be brought to you by MLB.TV. Moving forward, I have a feeling they will somehow try to finagle this behind the MLB.TV app and behind the paywall. Although I don't know how they're going to do that.
I don't know either.
I want to know, is this going to happen there were a lot of people buzzing on the comments on this article. There were a lot of people talking about it. Is this going to happen to Brewers? Is this going to happen to, some of the other Guardians? Is this going to happen to the other teams that are out there? I don't know how MLB can this year start making people pay when it's been on their cable provider.
Yeah.
Now, next season, I think it's a different animal. But wouldn't you think that you would treat your fans and you would say, okay, look, from here out until now, once the World Series is over, all bets are off. We can change everything.
Right. But just because you were watching it for free and now you've got nowhere to really watch it for free.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and fulfill that. But starting next spring, it's going to be behind the app.
Yeah,
behind the paywall. Especially
since if you're the company that's also providing it on an alternate channel, then the blackout rules don't have to apply, I don't think.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because I looked in MLB.TV, the app. I was looking on that pretty hard. And the whole blackout thing was the one that bummed me out.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out ways to finagle that, to make my address look like it was in South Dakota somewhere, wanting to watch a Diamondbacks game.
Oh, that's smart.
I understand there's ways to do that. My son, who's a software engineer, was telling me of all the different ways I could do that. But being a man of integrity and honor, I didn't want to do that. But Ralph, Ralph comes on the show. Ralph from Harmon Solar, he comes on the show and says he's got some magic box I may have to check into.
He talks about it all the time. That's how he watches NFL. That's everything. So. I don't know. I don't exactly know how it works. He doesn't explain it ever, but might have to get Ralph to spill the beans.
I anticipate the MLB will be taking this over for not only the Padres, but soon for all of the local franchises that are on the Diamond Sports Group Bally's network. I would anticipate that's happening. So Big George is on the text line. At 888-368-1580. Yeah, Big George is pretty happy, I think. He's already got it. He's got the graphic up here. It'll be now on DirecTV channel. I can't read that because I don't have my glasses on. It'll be on Cox Cable, Spectrum, AT&T, Uverse. And he says this might be a preview of what happens to Diamondbacks and their television broadcasting rights. And I can't wait.
And we know what Matt Ishbia wants. for the
Well-
Suns with Bally's. So
Well,
it maybe
didn't he already do? He already did that, didn't he?
I mean, he started to, and then the Diamond Sports Group pushed back. But now that they're losing a ton of money and they're, because they were bankrupt before, but now it looks like they
Yeah.
might still be going under anyway.
Yeah.
His move might help, and maybe the
I don't think.
Diamondbacks
I don't
follow
think.
suit.
I don't think Ishbia is going to play games. I think he'll squash this lawsuit so fast.
I mean, the statement he put out was pretty sarcastic. Like he didn't seriously think that they were going to be able to stop him.
I think he's going to squash this. Matt Ishbia is not playing games.
No, that guy's ruthless.
Well, I don't know about ruthless. I don't know the man, but
At least in the business sense. I don't know him personally,
he's a shrewd businessman.
but that's what the folks in the finance or in the loan mortgage game say. Matt Ishbia does not play.
Yeah. Oh no. Diamond Sports Group doesn't have the money to play with Matt Ishbia. He's on a whole nother plane,
Yeah,
right? He's up here somewhere.
and he's used to winning all the
Oh, yeah,
time.
yeah.
So he's not gonna.
Matt Ishbia sits courtside at an NBA game and takes the ball away from the Joker. That's Matt Ishbia, Jack. He wrestles the ball away from the Joker. 888-368-1580. Big George. Hello, gentlemen, and happy Wednesday. Well, today starts a new era of sports television broadcasting as Bally Sports has lost the rights to broadcast the Padres games here in San Diego and now are being produced in-house by the MLB. The MLB app is allowing people to watch all Padres games for free in the MLB app for the next week and then charge $19.99 a month for in-market streaming of the Padres games. There we go. I should have known. Big George has all the answers already. Padres games will also air on cable and satellite on new special Padres channel. Might be a preview of what happens to the Diamondbacks and their television broadcasting rights. Now, does this mean that we can do something about Steve Berthume? No, he's an employee of the Diamondbacks, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Damn.
Yeah, you're stuck with him.
Damn. Heavy Metal Maniacs is on the text line at 888-368-1580. Diamondbacks player Lourdes Gurriel should also be on the All-Star team. Not sure if I spelled that correctly. I don't know either. But it's not Gloriel. Now I see that. Gloriel. It's Gurriel. I think you got the Lourdes right, but it's Gurriel. But you can call him Gloriel. You'll probably come up with a song.
Yeah, or a cool nickname, some kind, if you work it.
Glory. I mean, he's been hitting the cover off the ball.
He really has.
He's got to be on the All-Star team.
Yeah, I think this is the year we get multiple Diamondbacks on.
Yeah, I think we'd have to have at least two guys on the All-Star team. For me, that would be a win.
Who would be your two?
Gallen.
Gallen.
Zach Gallen, I think, will probably be picked up by any coaching staff that will be All-Star related, right? So is it still the World Series coaches, the American League and National League coaches that managed in the World Series?
I don't know if it's manager with the best record at the break or if it's World Series.
That might be it too. Yeah, I've forgotten because they don't pay attention to the All-Star game anymore.
Yeah, I know when when I was still in college, I think that was the last time I was really just fired up about it.
Best record at the break. Okay. Well, I would imagine whoever is managing the NL All-Star team, they're going to pick up Zach Gallen. Easy. He's like I think he's the number 4 pitcher in the National League right now. They got to pick him up.
Yeah, he's been awesome.
All right. So that's going on. That's how we're getting underway here. 888-368-1580. Yeah, Lourdes Gurriel. I mean, I would imagine he'd have to be on the All-Star team. There's a few other guys. Corbin Carroll for sure. I mean, this kid is having a wonderful year.
Yeah, and he's hitting it out of the park, but he's also, when he gets on base, he does damage which if you want to showcase that in the All-Star game, which is what I think Major League Baseball wants to do, is to try and showcase how these new rules encourage guys to steal. That's the guy you want in there.
Damn it. Big George, why did you have to bring me down, man? Sadly, Randy, you're stuck with Steve Berthume. He's employed by the Diamondbacks, not Bally's. Padres play-by-play announcer Don Orsillo is much better than Berthume and actually shows excitement when a great play happens. Yeah, this is my Berthume. There's a long drive to center field. Looks like it's out of here. Diamondbacks are on the board.
Oh boy. Yeah, not good. That's a snooze fest waiting to happen.
I mean, Bob Brenly's in there, and Berthume brings Brenly down because Brenly's usually a jovial, kind of happy guy. By the end of the game, I think Berthume wants to commit suicide. I'm not sure, but he's just kind of like, well, let's get out of the booth now. I've been here with you for 9 innings. God help me if we go extra innings. Anyway, I got to take a break. We come back. Detroit trying to make a move on Monty. Is it worth it? We'll talk about it next on the Fanatic, 1580 and 99.3, the Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic. Juice Reel, the betting intelligence tool that's making better bettors. Open the App Store and get your hands on Juice Reel. Start betting smarter. Juice, R-E-E-L. Juice Reel. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The Diamondbacks are home in Phoenix tonight as they take on the Colorado Rockies. Diamondbacks minus a run and a half plus 114 on the run line. The Rockies getting a run and a half minus 137. Colorado plus 138 on the run line. Arizona minus 164 with an over-under of 10. PGA Tour, the Memorial gets underway Thursday at Muirfield Village in Ohio. Scotty Scheffler, the betting favorite to win at plus 600. John Rahm plus 700. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
With summer savings at the Home Depot, we'll get your kitchen clicking with top brand appliances like a new GE refrigerator with internal water dispenser for a crisp, cool glass of water every time, or a GE oven with built-in air fryer for healthier, crispier options with no preheating. Plus, with convenient shopping in-store and online at the Home Depot, your innovative new appliances are just a click away too. Save up to 30% on select appliances plus $300 off select refrigerators at the Home Depot. Pricing valid May 18th through June 7th, 2023. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-736-6158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-736-6158. That's 800-736-6158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-736-6158. Again, 800-736-6158.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Will Shakespeare here. Back in my day, I invented over 1,700 slang words like swagger, bedazzled, and my personal favorite, besmirch. But even I have trouble understanding slang words like yeet or bougie or
this is fire.
Actually, it is extremely smooth Shakespeare vodka.
Okay, boomer.
See what I mean? But there is one word that describes the pure quadruple distilled spirit crafted from an 8th century Polish recipe the first time you try it.
So lit.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Shakespeare vodka. So lit.
New schedule, new season, new direction. This year, the Cardinals will travel over 25,000 miles. They will do battle against Bears, Browns, Texans, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks, Eagles, Steelers, and Commanders on the road. They will face the Bengals, Cowboys, Giants, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks, Falcons, and Ravens at home. Think there won't be drama? When it comes to Arizona Cardinals football, We talk about it. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
It is the Daily Blender on a Wednesday here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. We're on the big flamethrower. You're checking in on the text line at 888-368-1580 as we are efforting our way towards 6 p.m. tonight. Tomorrow night, of course, game one of the NBA Finals. And then I think Saturday night's game one of the Stanley Cup Finals. Pretty sure.
I know tomorrow night is game one of the NBA. Hold on. Let me see if I can.
Pretty sure it's Saturday. But anyway, tomorrow night, game one of the NBA Finals. A lot of people thought the Phoenix Suns were going to be in the finals this year, including myself. I thought for sure once we got Kevin Durant here. But the injury bug killed the Suns down the the injury bug killed the Suns all season long, not just down the stretch. But in May 11th was Black Monday. May 11th was the day Matt Ishbia chose to move in a different direction, and he asked Monty Williams to step down. And so now the Phoenix Suns are in a search for their head coach. Monty Williams, I think we all said, Keon, he'd have no problem finding another head coaching job.
Right.
And quite frankly, I'm surprised it took him this long. But in a report out today, the Detroit Pistons are ramping up to make Monty Williams one of the league's highest paid head coaches. So let's keep that in mind. Such a deal would make Williams one of the league's biggest well-paid coaches. They're talking about $10 million a year for Monty Williams. Apparently, according to CBS Sports here, where I got this information, Williams has already declined an offer from Detroit and has indicated to interested teams that he might want to take a year away from coaching. But the Pistons are hoping that a large enough financial incentive would change his mind. $10 million a year. Let's keep it right there. So Williams would be a good fit, I think. In Detroit, it's a young team.
Mm-hmm.
We already know that Monty's a player's sort of coach. A guy that can bring his offense, which quite frankly is not a very technical offense. It's pretty much pick and roll. Am I wrong here?
No, you're correct.
Pretty much a pick and roll offense. The problem is getting the guys play defense. I mean, you have a 7-foot center. Okay, you took him number one overall. He didn't lead the league in defensive rebounds. He didn't lead the league in offensive rebounds. So what are we doing with this guy?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do in Denver any different? That's what I'd like to know.
And I don't think he's going to do anything different, but I think Monty and his style and the way that he interacts with players, when you have a group of young guys, that's a really good combination. I think he brings the best out of those guys. I think when the guys start to be a little bit more of veterans, I think that's almost where either they've bought into what Monty is selling or not at that point. But when you look at Killian Hayes and Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren, there's some young guys on that team that are going to make a difference in this league. I'm a big Cade Cunningham fan. Like when he was healthy, that's a league pass guy for me. That's a guy I watch when, Suns aren't playing and I want to just watch somebody else in the league. Cade Cunningham is incredibly fun to watch. He's a talented point guard. He's got great vision. Like I can see all of the different things that Monty can do with a guy like that. And I can see why the Pistons are trying to pursue him that hard.
Super talented roster. Cade Cunningham, you spoke of, Jaden Ivey, James Wiseman. Okay, James Wiseman reminds me of DeAndre Ayton. He's a big kid, lots of potential, lots of talent, but nobody has torn the roof off of that and let this guy, really get out there.
Yeah, and part of it is injuries. If it's going to require that he stays healthy, and he's been trying. From what I understand, he works out all the time. When he was hurt and had to rehab, he was very focused with the rehab. But the fact is, if you're injury prone, you're injury prone. But if he's going to be healthy for the Pistons, and it's not like the Pistons need Wiseman to be the guy. They have a lot of options at center to try and figure out what's going on. Maybe that they can revive Marvin Bagley III's career, because that's a guy that was a former lottery pick as well. So there are guys on that team that they just need to unlock, and they see Monty as someone who can do that.
So they're offering him $10 million a year. Now, you would think a guy that's being offered this much money by an organization, this is a guy that's, he's won Coach of the Year maybe a couple of times. He's managed to take a team to the finals. He's won a championship, at least one. Oops. Monty hasn't done that.
Yeah.
And he's been unceremoniously bounced out of the playoffs the last 2 seasons. Embarrassingly bounced at the hands of the Dallas Mavericks, who the Suns had their foot on the throat of the Dallas Mavericks and couldn't finish them. And they came back and beat you badly. And then this year, look what happened again.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's the reason why a lot of these teams that are contenders, they didn't really look that closely at Monty in the same way that, the teams looked at Nick Nurse, who got picked up by the 76ers. Even a guy like Doc Rivers and his pedigree of getting bounced out of the playoffs. It isn't always embarrassing with Doc. Sometimes you just lose. With Monty, the last couple of years, it hasn't just been bad. It's been embarrassing. I think that's a little hard for some of these teams. But if you're a team that has a bunch of young guys on it, you're not even close to the playoffs. You just want to get good. He's one of the more respected guys in the NBA.
Well, he's going to bring character. He's going to bring sort of a new mentality to this locker room in Detroit. That's for sure. He's going to preach about teamwork. He's going to preach about, playing together as a family unit. Same thing he did here in Phoenix. Problem is, look what happened between him and DeAndre. What if a James Wiseman or somebody like that doesn't like Monty's style?
Yeah, where you ask your big guy to not do a whole lot, and so you set screens and you roll to the basket. Some guys, it gets to them that they don't get to do more in the offense, and it becomes a big issue, especially if they think, like DeAndre did, that they're capable of doing more. Like if I can shoot, why am I just setting screens and rolling all the time?
Yeah. Yeah. Why am I just being a big body out here?
Yeah.
I can also play the game, 888-368-1580. We have it might be a new texter. It could be a new texter. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new texter on the text line. 1889 says, I didn't want the Suns to hire Nick Nurse. Hope they get young. Good for Monty. Hope he does well. Well, 1889, thanks for being a part of the show and for texting in. And make sure you get yourself a texter nickname. Jeffrey likes to say it's the only time in your whole life you can tag yourself. Make up your own nickname. I don't know. I'm sure you've got to, or tell us a little about yourself. Keon and I will try to come up with a nickname for you.
Because usually when you get a nickname in life, it's a nickname you didn't ask for, you didn't want. It's usually not good.
Some sort of characteristic that you carry, like, big booty, things like that. Jiggles. Bubbles. Beer Bob's on a text line, 888-368-1580. Isn't Detroit one of the places that wanted DA? So if Monty goes, you could cross that place off for a potential trade partner for Ayton. Unnecessarily. I think the media trumped up a lot more of a adversarial relationship than was actually there. I mean, we've seen, in the heat of competition, we've seen other athletes fight with coaches.
Yeah. Every playoff run, it seems like somebody on the Warriors is screaming at Steve Kerr.
I mean, it's not uncommon.
Yeah. I think with Ayton and Monty, I don't think they always agreed, but anytime you asked DeAndre Ayton to talk about Monty, he didn't have a bad thing to say.
Right. So I think it was blown out of proportion. Be honest with you. And I think that I don't know if the Suns are going to trade DeAndre Ayton until we get a new head coach in here. And maybe this head coach can use Ayton in a good way, utilizing his talents and his skill set more than what Monty did. And I'm not saying Monty's a bad coach. I'm just saying we're making the move at head coach. Why would you trade the number 1 overall pick away with a new coach coming in here that potentially could help DeAndre Ayton become a great ball player? I mean, that would be terrible. You want to see if these guys can get along first. Cardinal Art also says Isaiah Stewart is damn good as well.
He is fantastic. The Pistons are fun, man. Like I know they didn't win at all last year, but if you just look at the individual, parts of that team, that they have to think that they've got something there that could be special if you had a coach that pointed them in the right direction. And we're seeing with the Nuggets, and we're seeing even with Miami, what it can be like if you're patient enough with your young team to let them grow, how far they can take you.
But is Monty worth $10 million a year?
I don't know if he's worth $10 million a year for most teams, but I just think with the history that Detroit has of not being very good.
I mean, if I'm the Detroit Pistons and I'm willing to pay a coach $10 million a year, I don't think it's going to be Monty.
No.
It's going to be somebody with a championship pedigree that can come in here and help this team get back on their winning ways.
I would say 10 million is steep. I don't know if I would, but I could understand the logic behind it. The championship pedigree would be nice, but when you're a team that just isn't winning a lot of games, a lot of championship pedigree coaches, want to be in a situation where they can win a little bit faster, and if you can get somebody who can develop your young guys and at least get them to have the right culture in that locker room, which is going to be the case if you have Monty, that might be worth the money. And then, at the end of that contract, you reevaluate and go, okay, we might be a better team if we try to find another coach. But for right now, I think Detroit needs to focus on, let's build the culture in this locker room.
Cardinal Lard is on the text line. I didn't get to this one. I'm sorry. I didn't see it until now. That's a good fit for Monty, and they have the number 5 pick, young and hungry. Totally agree with you guys. And the kid from Alabama might slip, and Monty could get Bagley to do what he needed to do from DeAndre Ayton. I mean, yeah,
maybe.
Sky's the limit. But I think at this point, $10 million.
It's steep.
That's Nick Nurse money right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, guys who have won titles are getting 10 mil, and then here comes Monty.
I wouldn't pay Doc Rivers $10 million a season.
Oh my God. I better not see that out of the Suns.
Spoelstra, I'd pay him $10 million a season.
Well, yeah, absolutely. He's got a couple of rings. He's looking to get a third.
Got to take a break. Our texter, our new texter, has their name. I'll reveal what the name is when we get back, and we'll continue this conversation about Monty. Detroit Pistons making a big play for Monty, wanting him to go there for $10 million a year. Do you agree or disagree? 888-368-1580 is the text line. This is the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-736-6158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-736-6158. That's 800-736-6158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-736-6158. Again, 800-736-6158.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the Memorial Memorial Day sale, May 26th through June 5th, and get 30% off paints and stains with prices starting at $31.14. That means 30% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 30% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
This is Joan, enjoying some me time up on the rim. This is Simon and his friends paddling the Salt River. And this is Brad. Brad is, well, no one knows where Brad is. What they all have in common is that they went to azmbdnow.gov to quickly and easily renew their registration or 30 other services. So go to azmbdnow.gov and get more time to enjoy all the things you love.
Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
What if I told you there's a firm that will create a customized portfolio and financial plan for you and offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee? Think it doesn't exist? Think again.
Hi, I'm Mo Ansari, president of Compact Asset Management. When you start a new relationship with Compact, we'll create your customized investment portfolio and financial plan dedicated to help you reach your goals. Try us out for a year. If you're not happy for any reason, you'll get all of the management and maintenance fee that you paid refunded. This is our 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Call Compact Asset Management at 800-388-9700 to find out more. That's 800-388-9700. Satisfaction guarantee doesn't apply to fees and commissions charged by third parties for such things as insurance products or mutual fund redemptions. It also doesn't apply to any market losses which might occur in an account. For additional information regarding this guarantee, please see the disclosure brochure available at the time you enroll or upon request.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
I'm here to tell you about a technological shocker. Believe it or not, you can listen to us on your smart speaker.
That's shocking.
Wow. What a world we live in. All you have to do is say, listen to 1580 The Fanatic.
It is the Daily Blender on a Wednesday, May 31st. Remember, tomorrow, June 1st. Don't forget, pay your rent. You can pay it probably today. Deanna, have you paid your rent today?
I have not. No.
You have not, so you wait until tomorrow?
Actually, the first day that I have to pay is the 5th.
Oh, you got one of those fancy agreements.
Well, yeah, I had to work it out because that's the day I get paid. So
I see.
I can't
working all the angles. Are you?
I got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Well. All right. So anyway, unless you have some fancy sort of mortgage like Keon has, make sure to pay your rent tomorrow, or you could do it today. Surprise your landlord and pay him today. They'll thank you for it. 888-368-1580. Our new texter wants to be called I like pina coladas.
Oh boy.
Really? I like pina coladas. Let's see. How do I change this? Do I just do it like this? No, it's not doing it. Edit. There we go. I mean, sorry, I'm working right now. Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
All I know is that if you're hoping that that's going to trigger the song, the song's been shut down. Radio Ron himself walked into the studio to let us know that the Pina Colada song was dead, which was a great day for me personally. I was
coladas
not particularly a fan
of
that song.
Still
eternally grateful to Radio Ron for that particular decision.
Then I guess you just go ahead and hit save here. I guess.
I'm not going to lie to you. I've never actually had to put a name into the text line before.
Yeah, there it is.
You would know better than me.
Updating. I like pina colada. And there it is. I like pina coladas. That's interesting. I like pina coladas. Are you a male? Are you a female? Or are you? I mean, what do you? Where are you at? Where are you calling from? I like pina coladas. That's okay. Now that's brought out the fifth dimension here. I thought Bruno Baller. I thought any mention of pina coladas was banned on the Blender. No, No, the song is banned on the blender, Bruno Voller.
You can mention the beverage. We just can't play the song.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah. Big George, since the Pina Colada song is dead, hang on. How about we start a new song? Like put a lime in the No. No, Big George. I'm not going to do that. I need to get paid, Big George. And if I were to start a new trend, shall we say?
That's kind of step into the line. And you know what?
Yeah.
Nobody likes, as the Charlie Murphy sketch goes, a habitual line stepper.
Yeah. I like Pina Coladas. Look what you've done. Look what you've started with the fourth dimension on the text line here at 888-368-1580. We've been talking Monty, who got a substantial, it looks like the Detroit Pistons are pursuing him with a great vim and vigor, offering him some report has estimated it at $10 million a season. Okay, I think that's too much. Keon thinks that is a bit steep. What do you think, fourth dimension? Is Monty worth $10 million a season? Okay, he's a great coach. Okay, everybody likes him. Oh, he's a player's coach. He did turn the Phoenix Suns around from a lackadaisical sort of bottom dweller, sort of punchline of a joke in the NBA to a contender. Yes, he did do that. And no, I don't necessarily agree that Monty needed to be moved. But I mean, I'm not the owner of the team. And there was 2 embarrassing losses in the playoffs. And this is a business. It's a business of winning championships. But now the Detroit Pistons want to pay him $10 million a season. That would be like somebody wanting to pay, I don't know, Deshaun Watson, $200 million in resetting the quarterback value. That would piss a lot of people off.
All
Wouldn't it?
guaranteed. It would have to, because, if he were to be paid $10 million a year, the only coach that would make more money than him would be Greg Popovich.
And there you go.
He'd make more money than Steve Kerr.
I don't know
He'd
that
make more money than Eric Spoelstra.
I don't know that the NBA board of governors, I guess is what you call them, would appreciate the Detroit Pistons, slathering Monty's hands with $10 million a season. I don't know that they would like that. They're already paying enormous salaries to players. And now we're going to start paying, coaches $10 million a season. I'm not sure they would.
Steve Kerr makes 9.5.
How would they be able to survive that? They don't make the kind of money NFL does.
No, I mean, if your individual owner can afford it, though. I mean, because that's the thing. If your owner, I don't know who owns the Pistons off the top of my head, but if the individual owner feels like they can afford it, and they'll go for it. And I do think that being in Detroit, you're a little bit more desperate than most teams when it comes to getting the right coach in there. I still think Detroit might be better off. As much as I like the fit of Monty for them, I still think Detroit might be better off trying to find a young up and coming coach to connect with these guys.
888-368-1580 is the text line. We're talking Monty Williams. We're talking Detroit Pistons and a $10 million contract. That just boggles my mind. Thunder Snow is on the text line and says, Monty Williams brought the Suns out of the dark ages after 10 years. It's worth it for Detroit to give it a shot. If they had just a long drought, in the end, it's only money that doesn't count against the cap, and these owners can afford it. But how? I mean, if you're paying one of those super max contracts, how does that work?
Well, just
they can't pay these guys without that money being there, right? I mean, they can't. It's not like they could just say, we're going to pay you $280 million. I will pay you the second Tuesday of next week.
Yeah. And NBA contracts, of course, are fully guaranteed. So you're not, it's not like, the NFL where the money that you have to have on hand is just the guaranteed money. And then there's a bunch of stuff that's kind of make believe because it's incentives and whatever. No, this is all fully guaranteed when it comes to some of these players. But if you're already paying a bunch of guys hundreds of millions, does $10 million more really mean that much? You won 17 games last year. If the guy gets you to be even a play-in game contender, that's a massive turnaround.
Last Optimist is on the text line, says sign up for AutoPay for rent and don't let it stress you. Use a separate savings account and split your paycheck so enough goes to that account for your to cover your rent and your other monthly expenses get pulled from your regular checking. I mean, it's a good point. Last Optimist, throwing down, spitting some fire out here on the Daily Blender on this Wednesday. AutoPay for you. Do you do the AutoPay?
I don't do the AutoPay.
See? Last Optimist spitting fire today.
Yeah. I just got to make sure it's all in there. And
the Tom says NBA Finals prediction, Nugs in 6. I think Heat get Nugs in a head fog game 1. And at least one game, Jimmy buckets, wills, and wins. Nugs has too much firepower. I would agree with that.
I know you were saying that yesterday, that the game 1, the Nuggets might not be ready. I just haven't seen that from them this playoff run. They show up in game 1 ready to handle business in their house. And that's been their whole run. And I just don't see how. Really? Yeah. I mean, they're focused. They're dialed in.
But they've had 7 days off.
They've had 7 days off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I just, they don't seem like the kind of team where they show up and they're kind of lackadaisical. Like, that's the Celtics. The Celtics showed up in game 1 and just looked like they were all out of sorts and then got punched in the face and couldn't figure out how to handle it. That doesn't seem like the Nuggets to me.
Big George on the text line says, good for Monty. Got kind of a raw deal here in Phoenix, so I wish him nothing but the best in his new endeavors in Detroit. Well, he hasn't taken it, Big George. As far as I know, he's somewhere here in town, probably in Paradise Valley or Scottsdale. That's where all the big movers and shakers, that's where they live.
Yeah.
Keon lives in Mesa. I live in the West Valley. We're not the movers and shakers, but the big movers and shakers.
The big wigs.
Yeah. And the guys that drives they drive the fancy cars and wear the diamonds. They live out east.
Yeah, your coaches, your pro athletes, all those people.
I don't know any. Well, there used to be some Diamondbacks that lived in the West Valley, but I can't remember where. It wasn't my part of the West Valley.
What part would that be?
They would be like the Northwest Valley, like Pinnacle Peak out there, where those little mountains are. Those little, I call them mountainets.
Mountainets.
They're small
yeah,
mountains.
Like that. Yeah.
They build these, extravagant homes on the mountainets out there.
I have seen those from the highway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You've been out to my house. You've seen the mountainets.
Yeah.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, everybody likes Monty. Yeah, I mean, everybody does. He says, I don't know that Ayton would say that. Is Isaiah Thomas running the Pistons now? Boy, I don't think so. Is he in the front
Isaiah
office?
Thomas? No. Troy Weaver is running the Pistons.
There you go, Troy Weaver. A Beer Bob says, that's pretty harsh there, Randy, comparing Monty to Deshaun Watson. Ouch. Well, I mean,
just financially.
I wasn't saying that he has the same characteristics as Deshaun Watson. I wasn't saying that at all. Although, who doesn't like a nice massage? What I was saying though, it was about money. It was about money. It had nothing to do with Deshaun Watson's personal life or his terry cloth towels or his affinity for good. That's going to do it for hour one. You see what I'm saying there, Beer Bob?
Yeah, it's about having a contract that resets the market.
It wasn't about whether coming or going. We're talking about about money. We're doing money. Talking about money contracts. I better shut up now. All right, so hour one in the books. Hour two is up next. Got lots to talk about. Draymond Green has been very vocal about the Celtics losing, and I have to laugh with him. There's a lot of stuff on the list here. We'll hear from the Nuggets coach and players as they talk about their matchup with the Heat tomorrow night. This is the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Be right back.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Think for a moment about how much time you spend planning your vacation. Now, think about how much time you spend planning for retirement. Maybe it's time to change your focus. Maybe it's time to take a trip.
I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. My team of certified financial planners uses a target retirement income planning model, or TRIP. TRIP is an important tool which we use to evaluate investment strategies and lifetime income products. Then we use that information to determine the best strategy that could provide you with the financial security you seek and the peace of mind you deserve. Call Compact Asset Management at 1-800-388-9700 for your comprehensive, customized TRIP report with specific recommendations designed just for you. Call 1-800-388-9700. That's 1-800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. You know, the Lund Mortgage Team has been doing their thing for over 2 decades in the Valley, helping thousands of people in Arizona save money on their loans, get the best rate. They're mortgage brokers. They can shop it around for you. And now more than ever, it is so important to have a mortgage professional that's been around, that's seen the high rates, low rates, everything in between, because look, there's no sugarcoating what's going on right now. The rates are higher. However, the supply and demand, the whole how many houses are for sale in Arizona and what's going on, it's gone in favor of the buyer now. So if you're going to buy a new home, it is important to go and get that rate. Whatever that rate is, it's not going to be your forever rate. That's important to think about. So lock it in, get the house of your dreams and move on. But let the people at the Lund Mortgage Team do their job. All the heavy lifting from start to finish. They'll find you the best rate out there. Call 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or online, lundmortgage.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Daily Blender at the hour number 2. My name is Randy White, right over there, the sexiest man in sports talk radio. Keon Rose is with us. You are the fourth dimension. Texting in on the text line at 888-368-1580 as we broadcast live from the CRC Broadcasting Megaplex in beautiful uptown Scottsdale. Our text line is wide open. As a matter of fact, Mars Bar is 805 on the text line. Happy Whiskey Wednesday, guys. I'll take an 805. I'm gonna have to give you 805, not that other thing that you asked for. Suns are still the but if jokes. Suns in 4. Should have traded Monty for players or something. Go Lakers, and I'll take an 805.
Well, you can't trade a coach for players in the NBA. So that's one.
Still the but if jokes. Still the but if jokes.
And I don't know, man.
Not sure why I said that.
I root for the Wizards. Like, I don't to say the Suns are the butt of jokes, and I root for a team that is commonly a butt of jokes.
The butt if jokes.
I don't agree with that necessarily.
Burn it hell, Lakers.
I'm sorry.
Burn it hell, Lakers.
How did that get pushed? I don't know.
Something knocks you out again. Only in the postseason. Something knocks you out again. Something knocks you out. So burn it hell.
I don't know how that played. I'm really sorry about that.
I'm just saying the Suns and the Lakers played the same team, and one team got swept.
Last Optimist wants to let me know that Brittany Griner lived in Goodyear back when she was arrested. Really?
Huh.
I didn't know anybody, a professional athlete, lived in Goodyear. That's interesting. Thank you, Last Optimist. Robert from Surprise is on the text line 888-368-1580. Says it's easy. They just got to raise the price of beer at the game. Oh, you mean in Detroit?
Yeah.
Haven't those people suffered enough? Haven't they suffered enough? I think it should be free beer included with the price of admission into that arena to watch this team. The Pistons should be playing the people to come out and watch them play.
They won 17 games last year. They were 17-64, I think. You can't jack up the prices on them. Like the 5 people that really don't mind watching losing basketball because they're hoping that you're building something great. You can't jack the prices up on them.
Thunder Snow wants me to pour him a Jameson Black Barrel, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. Kyle G says the Pistons are making an offer in order to make sure no one else goes after him. Detroit needs a culture change, much the same way the Suns did when Monty got here. That money seems worth it to turn their fortunes around. But does it though? Does $10 million and a coach that he hasn't won a championship? Okay, he turned the culture around, but also Monty was just a part of the entire scene. You know, you had a new GM. You had an owner that finally started to back away and let the people that knew the game run the game and make moves.
And it's interesting to note also that when the Suns really started winning was when they got Chris Paul.
I mean, it was. I think it's a team effort. I don't think one coach changes the culture that significantly.
I think a coach can, but the Pistons already gambled on that. Dwayne Casey was their coach last year. They hired Dwayne Casey because what did Dwayne Casey do? Dwayne Casey was a coach of the year in Toronto before they hired Nick Nurse. And Dwayne Casey get you to the second round.
Yeah.
Get bounced out a lot. But he was a good guy, good character guy, well-respected in the league. That was the argument for them hiring Dwayne Casey. And it didn't really change their team a whole lot. So maybe trying to spend $10 million on another coach.
Well, I think that kind of underlines what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that maybe since you've done it once and it didn't work.
Yeah.
That one coach showing up to change your culture, maybe that doesn't necessarily.
And I like Monty. I like Monty. I mean, I don't like some of the things that he does. He doesn't make great transitions, in my opinion. He doesn't make great adjustments in the heat of battle, in my opinion. But he's a good coach. He gets the players. He can motivate the players. Everybody seems to like him.
Because that's where I think Monty is worth a lot of money for a team like Detroit. Do I think he's worth the second highest coaching contract in the league?
I don't know. I think Detroit, the problem there goes further than Monty. Maybe you need to talk about a new GM too, a new tandem.
I mean, maybe, but I think the GM's done a pretty good job. Just all the guys are really young.
Well, yeah, they're young, but look what you just said though. They brought in a guy that was sort of like a facsimile of Monty. Coach of the year, get you to the playoffs, and you're already washing. You're done with them. I know they won 17 games last year, but I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
But they had what? Yeah, I mean, they had but 5 years of Dwayne Casey, and it just never materialized into anything.
Let's see here. The Last Optimist, you got that right. You say they shouldn't jack prices for bad play, but the Cards are intentionally tanking 2023 and raising their ticket prices 20%. Well, they got to pay for Steve Keim. They got to pay for Cliff Kingsbury and the ineptitude of Mr. Bidwell for making those contracts. And also they got to pay for Kyler Murray. And what have I said on this program over and over again? Oh, great. Everybody yells about, pay the man, pay the man, pay the man. But guess who ends up paying the man? It's not the owner. It's you and I, the fans that go to the games. That's who pays for these guys. That is who pays for the John Q. Public or Jane Q. Public pay for these players that come in and make these mega millions. So Michael Bidwell made some questionable business moves with Steve Keim and Cliff Kingsbury and, quite frankly, Kyler Murray. And now who's going to pay for it? Well, you and I. 20% more in ticket prices. Mars Bars 805. Detroit needs to hire Meta World Peace if they want a culture change.
Well, no one said it was going to be a good culture change. I mean, I suppose if you just want to change it, but positively, come on.
Mr. Wilbur says, of course Monty's worth 10 million. And you know why? Because he can get it. Yeah, he can get it.
Yeah, I mean, you're
He
worth
can get
what
it,
you're worth what they offer
You're
you. So yeah.
I hope Ron's listening. Maybe he'll think we're worth more.
Well, fingers crossed.
I mean, just saying. Mr. Prinkle says, I'd like to congratulate Blissful Hayes on his extended vacation. Like to buy him Jim Beam Neat, please. Randy? Blissful Hayes on his extended vacation? Am I missing something?
I think I might be missing it too. I don't know.
Kean and I are in the dark about this. 888-368-1580. Beer Nut says, I think Monty just needs more experience behind him. Phoenix Suns doesn't have the time for him to develop his full potential. See, I don't know if I agree with that. I think Monty is a fully realized head coach. I think Monty just did not. I think he has a few things he needs to. I think these guys are always in a journey. All these coaches are in a journey. I think Greg Popovich is still learning stuff every time he goes out on the court and is involved in a game. I think these guys learn every day. I mean, do you learn something every day? I know I do. I learn something every day about my job. Mostly that I'm hugely untalented and I'm a hack at my job, but I learn more and more every day.
On.
Baker's Cocky Hen says maybe D-Hop could play the extra 20% this year. D-Hop's gone. And that brings up a good point. We'll talk about D-Hop later. There's been more information out there about why the Cardinals got rid of D-Hop. And quite frankly, I think if this is true, and I'm not saying it is true, but if this is true, what I'm going to bring to you, Fourth Dimension, if this is true, then we've got we have a real problem on our hands here in the great desert Southwest. It's turned into it's turned into a junior high school. If what I'm going to bring to you is true, then we have got a problem here. Brooks Koepka checks in on the text line. I love that. Just finished work for the week. Can I get a cold one, fellas? Absolutely. Anything for you, Brooksy. I bet, traveling around like you've been with that PGA championship trophy. I bet it's been just a toil for you getting ready for the next Live Golf tournament. We talk about millions. Whew. Bruno Baller says at least Detroit had the Red Wings for a few years back when they dominated in the NHL. Yeah, but they don't even have that anymore. I mean,
it's been a long time.
Haven't the fans of Detroit paid enough?
Yeah. I mean, at least the Lions look like they might be promising.
Oh, there you go.
The Lions are finally turning the corner after about 50 years.
We are 100 days away, ladies and gentlemen, 100 days away from the kickoff of the NFL season. Today.
Can't wait.
100 days today. You know what I should do is I should make some sort of like a sounder, and every day when we come on, 99 days from the NFL,
Yeah. I know Jeffrey doesn't like to count it, but once we get inside of double digits, I love to count it.
100 days today from the NFL. And Jeffrey's not here, so he doesn't have to he doesn't have to suffer through it. All right, moving along here. Draymond Green, I guess, was watching just like we were when the Celtics went down in in a heap of flames and agony and pain and suffering. All the Boston fans filed out of TD Ameritrade Center or whatever it is.
Did you see Bill Simmons' face? Like when they were just
I
getting
did
pummeled in the third
I did see his. Yeah, I saw that. They did a cutaway on him, and
I don't think I've ever seen him look that
he
sad.
was lamenting, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he looked like he wanted to cry and also curl up into a ball, and also that he was never born all at the same time.
He was pursuing something very sad and remorseful, wasn't he? With that look. Earlier this week, I guess, when the Celtics, the article is funny when they bowed out of the 2023 play. No, when they were ushered out on stretchers and in burning heaps after the Heat just absolutely dismantled them by 19 points.
You know, they were literally punted out of their own stadium.
Yes. I guess Draymond Green celebrated and said this, quote, I love to see them suffer, end quote.
That sounds like Draymond.
He says he's happy they lost and stop being the way y'all are, end quote.
It sounds more personal than it needs to be.
He said they're rude and told them to stop being the way y'all are. It did not hurt me to watch the Boston Celtics fans suffer. He said on his podcast, The Draymond Green Show. Very original Draymond, by the way, for the brand. Those people are really rude to me last year. I like to see them suffer. Quite frankly, for the second year in a row, in a big closeout game, the Boston fans suffered, end quote. This is almost like a Dungeons and Dragons type of stuff here.
Little bit, little Game of Thrones.
Very dark, isn't it? Draymond calling him out. Good. I like to see him suffer.
Didn't Draymond, not unlike Bill Laimbeer before him, spit on the Celtic in the middle of the court?
Oh, I don't know if he did or not.
I have to look that up.
Bill Laimbeer did, though. Y'all are rude, and I'm happy y'all lost. That's what he said. I mean, I'm reading some of what he said. He said the crowd, where they were chanting a deafening F you, Draymond. Yeah.
Which, you know, you expect to be booed at a game, but it does feel personal when people, you know, attach an expletive to your name.
Well, I mean, you know, good for him. Good
Yeah.
for him. He went in there, he played. I think he got tossed out of that game, didn't he? He got ejected because he had two technicals. And that's where he was standing. He was holding his ear.
Yep. And of course he started the season this season. The suit that he came to the stadium in was Celtic green. Because they'd already beaten the Celtics in the finals and gotten their championship.
That's right.
So he decided he was going to wear Celtic green to start the year. Draymond does not like the Celtics at all.
Well, that's obvious by what he said here.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't either.
I don't have an issue with it. Draymond Green. See, this is the stuff I was talking about yesterday about NASCAR. I mean, you know, Draymond Green versus the Boston Celtics fan base. I love it.
Yeah.
I love this. He has his podcast and he's unafraid, knowing that next year he's going to have to go in there and play the Celtics.
Yeah.
And the Boston fans are going to remember this.
Absolutely. And he's fueled by it. He loves that stuff.
Draymond Green, ladies and gentlemen.
Never change, Draymond. Never change.
888-368-1580.
By the way,
yes.
My Nationals finally did the Diamondbacks a favor. Beat the Dodgers.
Did they really?
10-6.
Don't toy with my emotions.
I am not toying with the game is over. I waited until it said final.
Do not toy with my emotions.
To let you know. The favor has been done. So now I need the Diamondbacks to win tonight.
All right, come on, D-backs. If you're just joining us, we talked about the D-backs in the first hour. Zach Gallen just out there dealing all of that nasty stuff he deals. Started off a little slow, and then the D-backs bats carried them. Yeah, tonight they will face the Rockies. Now, this is where you can find out if this team is ready for, the next level. This is where, if the Diamondbacks, knowing, and they're seeing the scoreboard, they're seeing that the Dodgers lost, and they have a chance to get a full game on those guys. Yes. Let's go, Diamondbacks. Let's go. I'm trying to get on my computer. You can hear my mouse in the background because it's very loud. Who's up tonight? Let's see. Tommy Henry. Let's go, Tommy Henry. Let's go, Snakes. I'll have to keep you guys up to date on that situation. 888-368-1580. As the Dodgers have lost. Breaking news, Dodgers lose. Yes, I love it. Bruno Baller says, on the text line, Bruno Baller says only 64 more days until preseason football kickoff in that classic Hall of Fame game. So I have a problem with that. Why are we playing a classic Hall of Fame game? Classic Hall of Fame game.
Mm-hmm.
And you have all these dignitaries there, and you've got the new Hall of Fame class there. And you're coming out there and you're playing a lousy preseason game. Shouldn't they make that more of a regular season game?
I mean, maybe, but
couldn't that be like a rotating regular season game?
I just don't think they want it in the regular season.
But why? It's in Canton. It's not like it's in Buckingham Palace somewhere in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, I get that. I just think that they want, because the NFL wants to be on the in everybody's minds all year round. And so having the Hall of Fame induction ceremony be in the summer gets you talking about the Hall of Fame and the NFL in the summer.
Yeah, no.
And then they just attach the closest game to it, which just happens to be a preseason game.
I think everybody talks the NFL year round. I know we do here on the Blender, but
they want specific things on the sports calendar to do that. The NBA is trying to do the same thing. They see it working for the NFL, so they're trying to do it too. Just to have those specific moments where we talk NFL all year round, but when a Hall of Fame induction class goes in and none of us agrees on the class, or we all agree, they want you talking about that right then. And then, you get all geared up for the NFL season right after that.
I think, I'm not sure, but I think Boomer Sooner may be having a stroke. I get a text here. You guys stop my text for bad. And then, oops, voice text sucks. Now, the only text I got from him before was from May 26th at 4:51. YouTube Randy. I think he might be having a stroke.
I hope not.
Fifth letter. How long you been listening to this program, Fifth Letter? I'm the bartender here. Little whistle pig for the fifth letter. There you go, fifth letter. He's asking you for whistle pig.
Which I understand the confusion to a degree. When Randy is out, I am the backup bartender.
He is the backup bartender.
Yeah. But while we are missing our fearless leader, Jeffrey O'Brien, Randy is in. So he's the bartender.
I run a nice, tidy bar here. So I mean, make sure. I mean, not that Keon does it. But he's a little young to the show to be running the bar. That's all I'm saying. He's still learning. 888-368-1580, Hefty Lefty. This may be the first time I've ever wholeheartedly agreed with Draymond. The Lakers fan in me loves seeing Boston sports lose. Hefty Lefty. Hefty Lefty.
Everyone can agree on something eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Big George, I'll get to your text here in just a moment. We've got to take a break. We're up against it. When we come back, the Saints explain why they brought in John Gruden as a consultant. This should be fun. It's a Daily Blender at 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch too. The customer satisfaction rate
for Metashare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Metashare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. Very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need: 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
The Dell Technologies Summer Sale event starts now with limited quantity deals on select performance PCs with Windows 11 Pro. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on essential accessories, plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to business customers by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HEAT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code HEAT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HEAT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HEAT.
Throw to the plate. Tag it, he's out.
The Arizona Diamondbacks are off to a great start with young talent playing exciting baseball, competing with the best of the league. This team is full of confidence. How long will the surprising Snakes keep this pace up? What awaits the team now that we are in May? When it comes to Diamondbacks baseball, listen for all the news, information, trades, injury updates, and more. If it's local and it's Diamondbacks baseball, we talk about it.
It's on!
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Big headline today on the Blender is Monty Williams being pursued by the Detroit Pistons, reportedly offering him $10 million a season to become the new head coach of the Detroit Pistons. Nothing final, and from what I read, Monty has declined one offer that happened before, and so this is the latest report out of Detroit. For Boogie and the rest of our Detroit fans, I hope this happens because I think Monty's a great guy, and I know on the text line you guys have been blowing me up about this, but. You know, we listen, that's the big thing today. Does Monty land in Detroit, and how does that affect this franchise? Like Keon said, 17 wins last season. And somebody said something about, raising the price. No, they should pay the public to come in. They should have like a free night in Detroit, in my opinion. You know, one night only during the season, a free night, and the public can come in and take in a ball game. Now, I'm not saying, hand them all the food and beverages and stuff, but look, just open the doors one night. You can afford it. Give me a break. If I went to Detroit and I did that, I would be like the most popular guy. Fans would come from miles around, to come to the game. 888-368-1580. Fifth letter says, my apologies, Randy. Here's an extra 50 for the tip jar. Well, thank you very much. Big George, before the break, had texted in a long text. And this is part of the reason why I'm glad to see the Boston Celtics lose. Their fans are nasty. I don't give two hoots about the whole Boston and New York thing, but I'm happy to see both cities lose in any sport. Wow, Big George. Bringing the fire today. We're in the 4 o'clock hour of the Daily Blender on this Wednesday. Jeffrey O'Brien is on assignment. Myself, I'm Randy White. Right over there, that's Keon Rose, the sexiest man in sports talk radio. We may have talked about this last week. I think I remember hearing Jeffrey talk about the the Saints bringing in John Gruden, which in the short term, do you have a problem with that? I'll ask you right away. Do you have a problem with John Gruden coming in and being asked to come in and coach or consult with an NFL team for a short term?
For short term, I kind of, only because the league made a big deal about trying to run him out of the league, and then to kind of just sort of let him in through the side door seems disingenuous to me. You know, and I understand that the Saints are a completely different organization, and they may or may not have problems with what John Gruden said, but he's never going to work in football again in any official capacity. So why are you associating with him then anyway?
So I think they brought him in as a consultant to work with Derek Carr. Obviously, Derek Carr had been under Gruden when he was with the Raiders before all this garbage came out about him, which I don't agree with one iota. I don't like the way it was handled. I don't like the way it was worded, and I don't like the fact that it was, gossip. I mean, it just seemed like gossip, backbiting gossip behind the scenes. And my my friends used to tell me, your sins will find you out. Your sins will find you out.
Yeah, it's in the Bible somewhere.
And they got John Gruden, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
So you can think you're hiding, but I mean, it happens. It happens all the time. What was his name? The announcer for the A's that just got canned for his quote unquote slip of the tongue.
Yeah, Kuiper. I can't remember his first name.
Yeah. Well, so the Saints brought in John Gruden to work with quarterback Derek Carr as he transitions to a new team. Usually that would not be something newsworthy, but because of who we're talking about here, it is newsworthy. I mean, we're talking about an email that had he hit every topic.
Stuff that has nothing to do with football at all.
I don't think he missed on anything. Racist, sexist, homophobic language, vile slurs used to describe the NFL player, executive, the president, DeMaurice Smith. Sorry. And now the Saints bring him in. Now, New Orleans, I've been there to New Orleans. It's a very diverse community there.
Very much, yeah.
I've been through the 9th Ward, or what used to be the 9th Ward. I don't think it's there anymore.
Yeah,
I think after the hurricane, it's gone. But I've been through there. I don't know that this is great optic for the Saints.
I don't think it is at all. And Dennis Allen trying to explain it as, well, we're just doing whatever it takes to win. I don't think that forgives a whole lot, to be honest. I mean, but that's the NFL. To me, I am not thrilled about the idea of John Gruden being involved in the NFL after what was in those emails and how explicitly horrible they were. But I also understand that NFL teams also just don't care. They don't care about what's right and what's wrong. They need to win. People's jobs are always on the line, and they're going to make the decision that isn't the morally correct decision. It's the decision that helps them win. And that's if they think John Gruden does that, that's the mindset that they've always had. I'm not surprised.
We were just talking about a $10 million a year contract for Monty Williams. In my opinion, a man of character, a man of good repute, a quality guy, quality human being. Mm-hmm. So Gruden was making $10 million a season with the Raiders. Now, I don't know. I don't know how long he was with the Raiders in this current contract. He didn't need to go to the Saints to pick up a consulting job. John Gruden is set for life monetarily. John Gruden has done everything that he just should go away. I know football is my life, and I'm truly sorry, and you can go on and go on and go on, but like you said, who's the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah,
the league seemingly doesn't care to want to enforce its own disciplines on these people that have been, lifelong members of the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, that's just how the league handles it is if they think that they can get away with having a guy on the team. That's how Greg Hardy winds up with the Cowboys after all of the awful things he did. That's how Junior Gillette winds up, in Washington with the Washington football team at the time. He's a horrible person too. He wound up on that team. Same reason. It's just that the league doesn't really care about morality. They pretend to, they play at doing it, but they don't care. And this is another case of that. If they think that you can help them win and it's not going to get too much of a public backlash, they're going to do it.
So what do you think needs to happen, Keon? I don't want to get into all the politics that are going on nowadays. I don't want to talk about what's happening with the marketing and all that business. But what do you think needs to happen for the NFL to get the message? We don't want criminals and people who've been fired for doing wrong things to be given opportunities again.
And if you do, you're going to have to work to get it, right? You don't just get to show up in Saints training camp one day. If you come back, you should work to do it. I think the NFL should set those guidelines up. This is what we're not going to stand for. If we see any of these things in your communication, you're done.
Well, I don't even think he went to any sort of counseling or behavioral, I don't even know what you want to call it, but
there wasn't even like a farce of pretending to get back on track and join, I don't know, the rest of us in civilization. Nothing. He just straight up hasn't had to change. And I understand that he's doing this because he loves the game. They can't possibly be paying him enough money. This is about John Gruden likes football and he doesn't have the self-awareness to just know to go away. He coached the Raiders for 3 years and then 5 games of the 4th year. And he misses it. And someone extended an opportunity for him to be close to the game again. So he took it. And that person should not have extended that to him.
So again, my question is to you and to the fourth dimension, what do we as the paying public have to do to start making our voice known that this is not cool? This is not cool. This is not, you don't just do that. That would be like having somebody who's a child rapist and you put him in prison, but he's only there for 6 months and then you let him out. For good behavior.
Like no work was done.
No counseling. Nobody checking into his psychological background to see why he acts this way and how he could can
you reform that? Is it even possible to fix that?
Right. Yeah. No sort of work whatsoever. Just bring him back to training camp and let's hope the press doesn't see him.
Yeah. And the Saints, I mean, it can't be stressed. I mean, you said it, that's a diverse community and that team means a lot to that city. You can't have a guy that described DeMaurice Smith. I'm not even going to repeat what he wrote, but you can't use a guy that described a black man in that way in your team, in that community, and then try to hand wave it away with, well, he's worked with Derek Carr before. So who cares?
The head coach of the Saints says, no, look, you ask everybody that was involved and they thought it was really beneficial for our football team. And look, we're going to look at every avenue that we can to try to improve. So that was one area we thought just bringing him in and having the opportunity to sit down and visit with him would help us, end quote. I'm almost sick to my stomach. I have to be honest with you.
Yeah. He tried to give just football reasons. Well, if you just focus on the football.
And they're valid reasons. Look, any other time without what's just happened with John Gruden, what has been revealed that John Gruden said in an email openly to another human being, wrote it down in plain English so everybody could read it. He should just be not allowed to be back in the NFL just because he's stupid enough to do that.
And use the work email.
My point, exactly.
Like, Not even a burner account or a nothing. Just he used the work email with his actual name on it because he didn't actually think that what he was saying mattered. And I just, I'm disappointed in Dennis Allen because I actually think that Dennis Allen might be a pretty good coach. I want to root for the guy, but I can't root for him now.
Didn't even he didn't even in this quote that I see here now. I didn't see everything that he said, so I will say that. But it doesn't even look like there's any sort of look. We all know what he did. I'm not bringing him in here to be a head coach. I'm not bringing him in here to be, a full-time member of this football staff. I'm trying to pick some of the knowledge and help our quarterback, be transition into his role with this team. I'm not condoning what he did, which, I mean, really, I guess you could say, well, but he is, though, by bringing him in.
Yeah. Because,
but he doesn't even address it. He just says, look, we're just trying to get better, do what's best for our team, blah, 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 blah. 888-368-1580. Big George says, I was already on the fence with the New Orleans Saints after the whole Bounty Gate thing with Sean Payton. But now after hiring a known racist and sexist John Gruden, a homophobe too. I now have a new team to despise in the NFC. As Jan Brewer once said before, an Arizona Cardinals football game beat the Saints. Well, I mean, did she know she was saying that? I understand she killed a fifth of whiskey pretty much with ease every morning. Jan Brewer. Who are we playing? The Saints. Beat the Saints. Where's my coffee? Mr. Pringle says, quit going to games. Quit watching on TV. If you can't do those things, then you can't complain. I agree.
Yeah. And you can also let the team know, and maybe it takes a little bit of organizing, but you can let the team know, you're not pleased with some of the decisions that they're making in the same way, like your congressperson, your senator, you write them. And then if nothing can change after that, you might have to walk away. The way I see the NFL, I have never expected them to do the right thing. And that's sad to say, but I just haven't expected that from them.
Beer Bob says it's the New Orleans Saints, though. You got to remember that they're the architects of Bounty Gate. Well, that was a different administration, though.
Yeah, it was a coach ago, several defensive coordinators ago.
I mean, that would be like saying, well, then, so ESPN is somehow culpable for Gruden's email because didn't he write it when he was with ESPN?
He was still working for ESPN, yeah.
So we all know that's not the case.
So you got to at least give them some kind of leeway for that in terms of once you change coaches and all of that. But so this is a different new coach's crappy decision. You got to judge him on what he's doing right now.
At least he's not staying there. As far as I know, he came in for a period of time. I don't know how long that period of time was. I understand it was maybe a few days.
Yeah, I think it was just for OTAs, and then he's done.
And I don't know that they're bringing him back. There's been no reports of them bringing him back. And the guy, has a wonderful NFL mind, and he is a wonderful NFL quarterback coach. But it hasn't been that long. It hasn't even been. Has it been 2 years? I don't even think it's been 2 years.
No, it hasn't been.
I mean, and the guy doesn't need the money. He made $10 million a season for however many 3 or 4 seasons he was with the Raiders.
Yeah, for 3 seasons, and I think because the 4th season they fired him with cause. I don't think he made that money. And then of course he made all that ESPN money for how long he was there.
Well, I'm sorry, New Orleans Saints. I don't buy your explanation of why you brought in John Gruden.
I understand that there's a bunch of variations on it, but John Gruden ran the West Coast offense. Nobody else runs that offense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be specifically John Gruden. Was there anybody else on that staff? Who else? Who was the quarterback's coach when Gruden was there? Couldn't you bring him in? It doesn't have to be Gruden.
Yeah, I think it's sad. It's sad. but it's the times in which we live, right?
Yeah.
Things
And-
that are wrong are being made to be right, and things that are right are being looked at as being wrong. This clearly was wrong to do.
It's not even up for debate. You can't bring that guy in there just with what we know he said, and I don't believe he's publicly apologized for it.
It takes some big stones to do that. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I don't have any respect for Coach Allen and the Saints for doing this, but that's a different time, a different show. Listen, when we come back, it's 100 days until kickoff of the regular season of the NFL. We're going to talk about 100 things to know about the upcoming NFL season. That's around the corner here on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
When you run a business, you need to be in control. And while you can't control everything that happens in the world of business, you can definitely take control of your utility expenses with the help of Harmon Solar. Give them a call and see how your company can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Dell Technologies Summer Sale event starts now with limited quantity deals on select performance PCs with Windows 11 Pro. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on essential accessories, plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to business customers by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
ADOT's I-10 Broadway Curve Improvement Project is in the works. It's an 11-mile stretch of Interstate 10 between Loop 202 and I-17. When complete, your travel time through the area will be reduced. Access to Sky Harbor, retail centers, and colleges will be improved, and the region will be able to better support a growing economy and more. Keep up with the project and traffic updates at i10broadwaycurve.com and stay ahead of the curve. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Department of Transportation.
We know how it goes. You can't always tune in and hear your favorite shows and hosts.
Dude, look, I'm a loser. Okay?
It's cool, bro. That's why we post podcasts of your favorite shows and hosts. Listen when you want to. Listen on demand.
That is great and frankly kind of amazing.
Go to 1580thefanatic.com to download.
Yeah, last optimist. He's not here for the whole season. We're talking about John Gruden. Hi, Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. He's not here for the whole season. They brought him in for an OTA, and he was working with Derek Carr. And last optimist says the players are the only ones that can force the Saints to change. We'll find out what the players care about what Gruden said if he survives the season. Yeah, he's not going to be there the whole season. I didn't read that. Did you, Ken? I didn't read that. When I read the article, I didn't read it. It was just a temporary thing.
it's temporary from what I understand. As well.
Yeah. So, and there you go. Big George says, is Bill Walsh still alive? He invented the West Coast offense. It's a good point, Big George. That's a good point. Yeah, Big George does his homework. He's got like dates here. George Seifert. He brought him in. Yeah. Big George. 5 Super Bowls. I really don't care to pontificate about the 49ers success on this radio program.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Being a Cardinals fan, I really don't could care less about the 49ers. You should know that, Big George. That's cut me to the quick. All right, 888-368-1580. 100 days away from kickoff of the NFL season, and CBS Sports has put out on their website 100 things. 100 days ago, Keon. 100 things to know before the season kicks off. All right? Number one, the season kicks off Thursday night, September 7th, when the defending Super Bowl champ Kansas City Chiefs host the Detroit Lions at, I'm not even going to say the field, Arrowhead Stadium. There's a whole bunch of stuff here about Patrick Mahomes, blah, blah, blah. Patrick Mahomes, blah, blah, blah. But number 4 in this 100 things you need to know is Mahomes will be without his offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy, since he became the Commanders' new offensive coordinator and assistant head coach. How you feeling about that?
Oh,
that's your team, man.
I'm feeling really good about it. And like just the reports from OTAs, the last offensive coordinator that Washington had was Scott Turner. Eric Bieniemy, from what the reporters are saying, he's more detail oriented. He gets on the guys. You make a mistake, we start the drill over. If you make a mistake, you don't walk back to the huddle, you run. I mean, it's just little things that are like, okay,
I love it.
This I could get
love
used
it.
to.
Yeah.
And hopefully that stuff shows up on the field. But the sense of urgency that I think the offense needed to have, he's going to bring that.
So, sorry, Chiefs, your new offensive coordinator is Matt Nagy, or AKA BU.
I will say about Matt Nagy, he is one of these guys that's not a bad coordinator. Should never, ever, ever be a head coach.
I was trying to have some fun.
I know, but and look, I don't think Andy Reid's going to let any of the BU.
More like PU. Let's see here. The Lions are a preseason darling after winning 8 of their final 10 games in 2022. I forgot about that. 8 of their last 10 games, the Lions won. They were on a winning streak until that last game. I mean, the Lions have that kind of momentum going into the offseason here. And I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It could be shock the world time at Arrowhead Stadium, September 7th.
I don't even think it would be shock the world if they were to win. That offense is for real. I mean, they did it all season long, even when they were losing games. They weren't losing games because they couldn't score. That is a fact. And the Chiefs defense, when last I checked, they give up points. And all it takes is, a couple of bad snaps, couple of bad drives, and the Lions get in front of you, and good luck trying to pass them again. They really don't seem to be able to be stopped offensively.
Another thing to know is with their season opening matchup with the Chiefs, it's one of 4 primetime games in 2023 for the Lions, not including a Thanksgiving Day matchup with the Packers. So they have 5 primetime games coming up in 2023. Yeah, I'm talking about the Detroit Lions.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
They haven't made the playoffs in 7 years or won a playoff game since 1991, but the Lions are the odds-on favorite to win the NFC North, according to Caesars Sportsbook. Something they haven't done in 30 years. We're talking about the Detroit Lions.
I can't even believe we're saying it. It feels wrong. But if you watch them play, what other conclusion are you supposed to come to if you watch that team play offense?
Another thing to keep in mind as we review the 100 top things to know about as this, we're on the 100-day celebration, 100 days until kickoff. The Vikings still possess arguably the most explosive pass catcher in the NFL with Justin Jefferson, who racked up 4,800 plus yards in his first 2 seasons. The Vikings. And they got that rookie that's going to be explosive on the other side. Oh, look out for the Vikings, ladies and gentlemen.
They're going to be good.
Where are you at, Donnie? I know you're out there. Jordan Love is taking over the Packers quarterback position after 3 years behind Aaron Rodgers. The latter pondered retirement before facilitating a trade to the Jets, ending his 18-year run with the Green Bay Packers. So now the Love doctor is in Green Bay. No, I'm not talking about Dean Blandino either.
No. Shame.
The biggest storyline of 2023, the offseason, was Rodgers' relocation, which, by the way, I saw as I was studying up for the show today. Aaron Rodgers is a Swiftie. Did you know that?
As a fan of Taylor Swift?
He went to both Swiftie concerts at the stadiums there in New York, New Jersey.
Huh.
Both
of them.
Not 1, 2 consecutive nights. Aaron Rodgers went to the T-Swift show in New York. Wow.
I wouldn't have guessed that, to be honest with you.
You need to know that. It's one of the 100 things that you need to know as we walk into the 2023-24 NFL season. Aaron Rodgers is a T-Swift fan. By the way, and everybody knows this, so I feel kind of stupid saying this, but Aaron Rodgers is following the footsteps of his mentor, Brett Favre, who also went to the Giants.
Or the Jets, rather.
I'm sorry, the Jets. Ooh, sorry, fans. I'm glad I'm not on the Fan in New York. They'd be crucifying me right now.
I mean, the moment the words left your mouth, yeah,
the lights would come on. I mean, the listeners would be at the door with axe handles and sharp objects. Okay, so many believe that Aaron Rodgers is widely viewed as the missing piece and potential championship bid for the New York Jets. By the way, Zach Wilson is still on the team. Not sure why.
I mean, I think that they try to salvage him. You know, I mean, you're not going to have Aaron Rodgers as the long-term answer. So if you can get anything out of Zach Wilson, I say try to. You know, he's still on the rookie deal. He's not costing you anything.
And he's going to be behind clearly an Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, and a guy that plays the game similar to what Zach Wilson's ceiling could be if he could ever get his head out of his own backside.
Rodgers' Jets supporting staff includes running back Breece Hall, wide receiver Garrett Wilson, wide receiver Alan Lazard, tackle Quinnen Williams, safety Jordan Whitehead, and cornerback Sauce Gardner. That sounds like an all-pro team, except for Alan Lazard.
Yeah, except for
maybe past the prime.
But if Alan Lazard is your third receiver, you know, that's not bad.
Look, he's an option, right? He's an option. All right, so we're going through a list of 100 things you need to know because we're 100 days away from kickoff of the 2023-24 NFL season. And we've covered a lot of topics here. You are texting in at 888-368-1580. I got a bunch of texts on the text line. We'll get to those when we come back from the break. A lot of people wondering where Jeffrey is. Jeffrey's on assignment today. He'll be out all week. He will be returning on Monday. I won't be here on Monday. I have a day off Monday. I have to take care of some responsibilities Monday. Anyway, that's 2 hours down for the Daily Blender on this Wednesday. Hour number 3 It's coming up next over most of these same stations on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HEAT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code HEAT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HEAT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HEAT.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
What if I can't afford to retire? What if I outlive my money? What if I can't take care of my family?
If you're worried about the what ifs life can throw your way, maybe it's time to think about a financial plan.
I'm Mo Ansari, president of Compact Asset Management and host of Market Round. The financial planning team here at Compact focuses on the answers to all of life's what ifs. Wouldn't it be nice to replace worry with confidence?
Maybe I can retire in style. It would be nice to not worry about my family. Maybe I can have the financial freedom to live the life I want to live.
Call me and let's discuss your what ifs. Call 1-800-388-9700 for a free consultation and a free retirement income evaluation. That's 1-800-388-9700, and I will meet with you personally. 1-800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services member, FINRA SIPC.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
This is on. Sorry. I'm used to being at home and you saying in my head. You're live. Sorry. And welcome everybody to the third hour of a Wednesday edition of the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. My name is Randy White, right over there. The sexiest man in sports talk radio. That's Keon Rose. You are the fourth dimension. Texting in live on our program at 888-368-1580. And we are broadcasting live from the CRC Mega Broadcasting Complex in beautiful uptown Scottsdale. Fourth Dimension is active and happening. Mr. Wilbur on the text line, 888-368-1580 says, this is Jeffrey borrowing Mr. Wilbur's account, only 100 days away, and we're not talking about backup quarterbacks. What the heck is wrong with you guys? I thought I trained you guys better. Okay, now, A, Mr. Wilbur. A, it's trained, not trade. B, Jeffrey doesn't have to borrow your account. He has his own. C, I know what you're trying to do, Mr. Wilbur, and it's not going to work. Let's see here. Number one Rattlers fan is on the text line. It says, have you speculated about the DeAndre Hopkins trade DeAndre Hopkins going to the Lions? I'm from there, and I want the final Lions game at the Pontiac Silverdome. I went to the final Lions game at the Pontiac Silverdome. Oh, very cool. I did not know that. It's very cool. The number one Rattlers fan went to the final game at the Pontiac Silverdome. Did they blow that thing up? They blew it up, right?
I think they did. Yeah.
It's the Astrodome. Or not the Astro. Yeah, the Astrodome. That they didn't blow up yet. Okay. AAA. Thank you, number one Rattlers fan. I don't know about that. I mean, I guess he could go there. I mean, I guess, would they have the money for that though? I don't know.
I can double check that.
I don't know if they would have the money to bring in DeAndre Hopkins. And at this hour, we're going to talk about DeAndre. There's some more information coming out about why the Cardinals let him go. I'm just saying. All right. So Navy Brad, hello, everyone. What did he say? Hello, everyone. In seeing articles about the Cardinals, their plan is to fully tank. Do you agree? Well, yes, somewhat. Because we don't have a quarterback. Kyler Murray is not going to be ready to go at the beginning of the season. So it's going to be one of our number two guys, David Blau or Cartoons. What's his name?
Clayton
Tunes. See, I kind of do agree that they should look. It's just going to be a brutal season, in my opinion. I still feel like the Cardinals will get 5 wins. If I'm talking, if I'm talking real and not with my heart or my emotions, if I'm talking for real, Cardinals get 5 wins. Everybody's laughing at me, but that's okay. All right, that's fine.
Well, the over-under is 5.5, so it's not crazy.
I don't feel like I don't feel like anybody has given this new head coach an opportunity to show what he can do, and this new staff. Who knows what they can do? And I don't feel like the Cardinals have given, or I don't feel like the people have given Monty Osenford any credit whatsoever for being a quality GM who came in here on short notice, went to the trade. And in my opinion, I think he did a pretty damn good job in the trade. I mean, from what everybody else is saying, he did a great job in the trade. I say the proof is in the pudding. But yeah, are they tanking? That's difficult to say, in my opinion. Bruno Baller says the last time the Lions won a playoff game, they still had Barry Sanders. I thought, didn't they go to the playoffs without Barry, but they had Megatron?
Yeah, they went to the playoffs with Stafford and Megatron, but they didn't win the game.
Yeah, I thought the last time that they were there, they had Megatron. And Barry Sanders wasn't on the team.
It was like 7 years ago was the last time they were there.
Blissful Hayes wants me to say in my Sam Kinison voice. Hang on. Let me get there. Can you say in your Sam Kinison voice, which this is not Sam Kinison by any means. Who the hell is Taylor Swift? Well, I think everybody knows who Taylor Swift is. I think, if you're honest, Blissful Hayes, I think you know who Taylor Swift is. Last Optimist says, I just like to remind Jets and Giants fans that the only real New York team is the Bills. Ooh, ow. Ooh, straight fire. Wait a minute. Straight fire. Wait a minute. Straight fire.
Straight fire.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, the last couple of days, technology has really sucked, isn't it?
Hasn't been great.
Fish Tank. Also, the Patriots. Oh boy, it just moved. Also, okay, I missed this one. Fish Tank at 4:55 says, as if there weren't enough reasons to hate the Jets, I've never wanted to see a guy fail so bad. And then at 458 says, also, the Patriots are going to be worst team in the AFC East. I say based on the last 20 years, they should have to stay there for another 20 years moving forward. Fish tank, dropping a dime on the Patriots.
You get 20 years of dominance. Okay, now you take your turn at the bottom.
Big George, no, it's not a colonoscopy. I have to take care of business on Monday. It's not code for colonoscopy. Dear God, I don't want to have another one for a while. The last one I had that they gave me the little bottle of stuff. Here, drink this and pop these 2 pills, and then we'll see you. So I did that. I followed the directions, and I went in. Oh no, we can't do it. No, you got to go clean out more.
Oh no.
So I had to reschedule it. So I had to go back. Fortunately, they were able to do it this time. Fortunately. But they still said, they still got, could have been cleaner. What do you want from me, man?
It's a colon. It's not supposed to be clean. Just look in there.
But hey, no, I not another colonoscopy for some time, please. Boomer Sooner says, Randy, can I get a beer, please? Finalizing divorce. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Make it a double. I'm sorry, Boomer Sooner. Man. Thanks a lot for bringing the whole show to a dead stop, though. I'm sorry, Boomer Sooner. Number one Rattlers fan, the Cards will blow up this season. Tankaroo. Well, yeah, you're probably right. But who's to say that they're going to be the worst team in football this year? Sure, the fans right now. But Tampa Bay doesn't even have a quarterback yet.
I mean, they have the one they're willing to lose with.
Right? I mean, there's other teams out there that I think that are as much trouble as we are. Bruno Baller, yes, Randy. They have went off to the playoffs since they had Barry Sanders. They haven't won a game, however. They have went to the playoffs since they had Barry Sanders. They haven't won a game, though. Okay. We agree. Blissful Hayes, thank you, Randy. I don't believe a Baby Yoda will ever play in the NFL again. He's scared to death of getting severely hurt, especially after the Hamlin incident. So you think that Kyler Murray is afraid of his heart stopping after a hit?
Because it's never happened to him before. Why would he be afraid of that?
Yeah, I don't know.
If anything, he'd be afraid of another non-contact ACL tear. If anything, because that'd be the thing that actually happened to him.
I don't think he's worried about that. He's played enough football.
I don't think he is either.
And it was an open field thing. It wasn't like he got tackled and he got hurt.
Yeah. Did he play scared at a bunch of times last year? Yeah. But look at that offensive line. Look at it and tell me that most quarterbacks alive wouldn't play scared behind that.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It wasn't good.
Mr. Pink Eye says, to Bills fan, when Canada gets a team, who do you think is going? Bills' closest team to Toronto.
Yeah, but the Bills make money in Buffalo. Why would you have to move them?
So Mr. Pink Eye is he's just kind of thinking out loud here, saying that when Canada gets an NFL franchise, it will be the Buffalo Bills. Isn't Detroit as close to Canada as Buffalo?
Damn near, basically, right?
Aren't they just right across the lake or something?
Yeah. And I just looking at the NHL, the history of the NHL, it's teams usually that are struggling in attendance that tend to go to Canada.
I don't think they're going to send the Bills there.
Yeah, the Bills aren't struggling, and the Lions right now aren't either. Actually,
yeah. I think Canada will if the NFL expands above the Great White North border there. I think they'll get their own franchise. I don't think they'll move a team.
I don't think so.
Unless it's the Cardinals.
please.
Did I just say that out loud?
Yeah, a little bit.
888-368-1580. So 100 things because we're celebrating 100 days to kick off today on the Daily Blender. And we've talked about so much. We're moving along here. I'm not reading every one of these things. I'm giving you what I have, and I think what is pertinent. I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff about Patrick Mahomes. I don't think you want to hear all the information CBS Sports put out about Patrick Mahomes.
It's like a quarter of the list.
Yeah. Let me get down here past Rodgers being a Jet now, because there's a lot of stuff about that. We talked before the break about his staff, his supporting cast: Breece Hall, running back, wide receiver Garrett Wilson, wide receiver Alan Lazard, Quinnen Williams, Jordan Whitehead, and Sauce Gardner. And we had some thoughts going into the break about those guys. I think it's a great core. It's a great nucleus to this team. You said all last year the Jets had a championship style defense.
Yeah, and
there's no reason to think they won't have them again.
They're bringing back the same guys. I mean, they're bringing back, Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams and Carl Lawson and a lot of the monsters that defense is made of.
So I would imagine that the Jets are going to be greatly improved. I think it's going to be very interesting to watch how the Jets respond with Aaron Rodgers as their starting quarterback. Let's see here. The Bears are also counting on a young quarterback in their former first rounder, Justin Fields, who exploded for 1,100 plus yards in rushing last year, but who's looking to grow as a passer. Problem here is they didn't really give him any weapons in the draft. And the Bears had the opportunity to get some quality wide receivers. And I don't remember exactly what, but they didn't get. I mean, they acquired DJ Moore,
and sure, that's just one guy, but they are adding him to Darnell Mooney, and I'm not sold on Chase Claypool. They like him a lot, and obviously that's why they made the trade for him. But I don't like Chase Claypool. I think he's a horrible route runner, and that messes up a whole lot of things as far as timing goes with quarterbacks. And so, even though he's talented and he's got great hands, if you run routes sloppy, you're not getting open.
So don't you think that the Bears need to do something other than what they've been doing? They need to start, working on defense. The last time they went to the Super Bowl, they had a exquisite defense. They had a quality offense.
Yeah, quality in that a lot of those position guys were really good, but Rex Grossman was the quarterback.
Well,
I see your point. I do think that they need to build, from the inside out, from the trenches out, which I think they're trying to. They started with the offensive line really in this draft. And I think that they're trying to get that to a level where Justin Fields actually can grow as a passer. Because when you look at a guy who's inaccurate and he's standing behind a bad offensive line, I'm sorry, but when you're a young player and the game's moving really fast for you, and then also every time you try to look downfield, there's a guy in your face, you're not going to get better as a passer. It's just not going to happen.
Another thing to look forward to in this upcoming year, 100 days away. Obviously, Carolina is going to be a big headline because they've got a new quarterback in there, Bryce Young, Alabama's Bryce Young. It was funny. I was reading an article, and he was saying, they were saying in the article, he's already getting passes batted down in the OTAs. I don't remember Kyler having that much of an issue in the OTAs.
No,
getting passes batted down.
The Kyler having his passes batted down ever has been kind of overblown. He's actually near the bottom of the league most years in passes batted down. Last year, he was second to last. So
do you think that's just something that Bryce Young's going to have to learn about? Throwing lanes, things like that?
Yeah, throwing lanes, changing your arm angles. Like when these defensive players when defensive players in college, when they can't get to you, they usually try harder. Defensive guys in the NFL know that some of these offensive linemen are too good. So they're not going to try to get to you. They'll just put their hands up, and that'll work against every quarterback. Guy 6'5", you're going to get your passes batted down. If you don't know to change your arm angles, if you don't know how to change the position of your body to be able to find those passing lanes, yeah, I mean, that's going to be an issue for you. But he's a rookie, so I'm not insanely worried about it yet.
5'10", they've got him listed at 5'10". I think he's not 5'10".
It's generous. They've got him listed at 5'10", which is generous. They've got him listed at 200 pounds, which is also potentially generous.
Doug Peterson and the Jaguars, they shocked a lot of people last year. I think the thing you need to look out for this year is Doug Peterson and the Jaguars being even better this year. They were 9-8 last year.
Because they started slow last year. I don't think that's going to happen a second time.
Trevor Lawrence is growing every year. I don't see any fallback with him. You would think last year would have been his sophomore slump, right?
Except that the first year was actually the slump year. The rookie season was, people were looking at Trevor Lawrence going, so this is the guy that everyone was telling us was the great, the best prospect we've seen since Andrew Luck. And now with a actually good coach, offensive mind, quarterback guru in Doug Peterson, we've seen what can happen when someone's able to unlock Trevor Lawrence and all of that talent and potential that he has.
Yeah. So also the Jaguars added Calvin Ridley. Positive.
He's a really good receiver. Just the gambling thing got him suspended. So we just haven't seen him. And maybe it's going to take some time for him to get up to speed, but I know that that's not as hard for receivers as it is for other positions. If he stayed in shape and if he's been, working on the craft, getting one-on-one workouts with guys, then he'll be fine. I think so. But he's got real speed that you can't teach, and he's got great hands.
I'm sure glad we're talking about this because I forgot the Texans on their fourth head coach in as many years, bringing in DeMeco Ryans, 49ers former defensive coordinator. DeMeco Ryans will be the head coach of the Texans. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for an improved defense because that's what we saw from DeMeco Ryans in San Francisco. And I understand he's got, not all of the talent that the Niners had.
He's got Will Anderson Jr. now.
You got Will Anderson Jr. But, you look at that defense, that's kind of about it, really. So they need a few years to build. And I believe they are more committed to DeMeco Ryans than they have been with some of these other coaches like David Culley, who they hired 2 years ago, Lovie Smith, who they hired last year. DeMeco Ryans seems like they think he's the long-term answer at head coach. And hopefully they give him that opportunity to build up that defense and offense because they can have something special. I think he's a talented guy.
Well, and they brought in CJ Stroud, who I think is he's going to be scrappy. He's going to be one of those scrappy quarterbacks, kind of like Justin Fields. Reminds me of Justin Fields. The guy can run. He can pass. He's pretty smart. No, he doesn't have the strongest arm on the field, but he's a talented athlete. And I think he'll help the Texans actually surprise some people this year.
Yeah. And the thing is that I think they need him to, if you want to unlock CJ Stroud, the key is to get him to stop thinking so much. Just let your body take over. You have this mobility. You have this speed. He does have the ability to play outside of structure. He should be able to do that. And he did it very rarely in college. And I would love to see that coaching staff get him to do it a whole lot more.
So another thing to watch as we count down the 100 things to look for in this upcoming NFL season, Baltimore betting big on Lamar Jackson after that huge, contract they gave him. I mean, Lamar better be out there. He better not do what he's done the last 2 years, and that's had an injury that's put him on the sideline.
Which I don't know how you necessarily help that.
Well, I know what you're saying. I understand. But he better hope that doesn't happen to him this year. He better take better care of himself by maybe not running all the time.
And part of that is we're looking at the Ravens and the weapons that they brought in, because part of the running is, if you don't have targets downfield to throw to, or guys aren't separating, you're going to have to figure out a way to make some plays yourself.
OBJ now, and Zay Flowers was their first round pickup.
Yeah. And I like both of those picks. I think OBJ can still play. And obviously Zay Flowers is a small receiver, but he's a speedster and someone who can get open.
Rookie of the year, possibly.
He's going to be on that list. He's going to be on a short list of guys. Yeah.
All right, we're up against a break. We've got to get away from this topic. We've got so many other things to talk about when we come back here on the Daily Blender. Obviously, we've got more of your texts on the text line at 888-368-1580. Also, we want to talk about tomorrow night's game one. And the Nuggets have been talking about their matchup against the Heat. I think it's something that you wouldn't expect. We'll talk about that next here on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Juice Reel, the betting intelligence tool that's making better bettors. Open the App Store and get your hands on Juice Reel. Start betting smarter. Juice, R-E-E-L. Juice Reel. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The NBA Finals begins on Thursday night in Denver as the Nuggets take on the Miami Heat. Denver in the NBA Finals for the first time in franchise history. Heat last played for the title in the 2020 Disney World bubble. The Nuggets, who are the number one seed in the Western Conference, are favored by 8.5 points at home in Game 1, minus 365 on the money line. The Heat, the 8th seed out of the Eastern Conference, plus 295. The over-under at Ball Arena is at 219. Denver's Nikola Jokic, the favorite to win the Finals MVP at minus 400. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month. A savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
When life gets overwhelming, but you just don't feel like talking, help is only a text away. Trained and caring crisis specialists are available by text 24/7 to assist with suicidal thoughts, substance use issues, depression, anxiety, and more. You are never alone. When you need help, please text HOPE to 4HOPE. From anywhere in Arizona, text the word HOPE to 44673. This message is sponsored by Solari Crisis and Human Services.
Now that the draft is in the books, it's that time of the season when the team gets together, to get acquainted.
Let's go. Practice time.
Summer means mini camps, OTAs, then it's on to preseason. Keep yourself tuned to the station with all the insight, updates, and breaking news when you need to know about the NFL offseason. Remember, if it's the NFL, we talk about it. Your home for NFL news, games, playoffs, and Super Bowl in the Valley. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
It is a Wednesday edition of the Daily Blender as we head for 6 o'clock tonight. My name is Randy White. Right over there, the sexiest man in Sports Talk Radio. That's Keon Rose. Jeffrey O'Brien is on assignment, and the finals are starting up tomorrow for the NBA. I think this weekend it's the finals for the Stanley Cup. It would be Miami taking on Denver Nuggets. And then in sort of a weird twist, sort of geographically about the same, a South Florida team is taking on Las Vegas team. Las Vegas, Denver, same kind of proximity, not quite a mile high, obviously. Still a desert team, but I mean, you know what I mean. I mean,
yeah, like a mountain time zone. Team.
Yeah. And then you got the Florida Panthers taking on the Las Vegas Golden Knights, which kudos to Ralph for calling that one. I think he called that one. I thought the Stars would go. But after what happened in that series between the Stars and the Las Vegas Golden Knights,
it was really hard to root for Dallas.
Yeah, I didn't root for Dallas anymore.
Yeah.
And I have a son that's an avid Dallas fan, unfortunately. 888-368-1580. I'll get to your text in just a second. Also coming up on this date in Big Georgia's sports history. So Mike Malone, how do you feel about him for NBA Coach of the Year?
Yeah, I mean, he's done an incredible job. His team's had the best record in basketball the entire year. I mean, since December, no other team has won more basketball games than the Denver Nuggets.
And what did they do last year? They went out early, right?
Yeah, I think it was the first round. They got bounced out. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were hurt. Jamal Murray was hurt last year.
Yeah, he didn't.
There was somebody else.
He was gone basically the whole season.
So when I saw this, I thought this is like Coach of the Year speak right here. This is a quote from the head coach of the Denver Nuggets. As I told our team, forget the 8th seed stuff. They beat Milwaukee 4-1, who had the most wins in the NBA. They beat Boston 4-3, the team that had the second most wins in the NBA this year. And when you get to the NBA Finals, it's not about seeding anymore. It's Mike Malone, the head coach of the Denver Nuggets. This is a guy you said it, they're going to be locked in game one. And this is a guy who's clearly locked in, and he's communicating to his team, don't take them for granted. They will bite you. They're like a rattlesnake coiled up and ready to strike.
Yeah. And look, the NBA playoffs, we refer to it sometimes as the NBA's second season. And not just because it's so damn long, even though that's also true.
Mm-hmm.
It's the second season because it's completely different from the regular season.
Oh, yeah.
What it takes to win regular season games, you get to the NBA playoffs and it changes.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Anything.
Your rotations get a whole lot smaller.
Yeah.
The possessions get to be a whole lot slower. So you've got to figure out how to get to the basket. And sometimes being in the playoffs is just, do I have a guy who can go get a bucket? And the Heat have two. They have Jimmy Butler, but I think Caleb Martin has inserted himself into the conversation as a guy who can go get a bucket when they need it. He was making some incredible shots in that series.
Yeah, C-Mart. Yeah.
And so I think that you gotta give Miami their credit. They may not have been the best team in the NBA's regular season, but when it comes to what they needed to do to win in the second season, they matched that. They found what they needed to do and they did it.
Yeah. Malone goes on to say, for those thinking this is going to be an easy series, I don't know what to say to you people. This is going to be the biggest challenge of our lives. It's the NBA Finals. You're trying to win the first NBA championship in franchise history. It's going to be the hardest thing we've ever done. Damn, if he don't win the Coach of the Year, this thing is rigged.
I mean, well, the thing is, it's a regular season award. And sure, you could have given him for that. But
I mean,
he's an incredible coach. And this is why, because he doesn't overlook anything. And he knows his team doesn't overlook anything either. They've been together for a while. This group of guys, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, they've been together for a long time. So all of those losses that they've had where they got bounced out of the playoffs and then they were NBA memes for weeks after that, they remember that. They know that they can lose if they're not focused.
Yeah. And we talked yesterday on the show. I think I asked you what was the season matchup, and it was pretty close both times, right? I know Denver won, but it was pretty close both times.
Yeah, it was pretty close. I don't think it was double digits either time.
No. It was some like 4 points or, 6 points. So game one tomorrow night, I expect it to be a barn burner. I expect that Miami will be ready to go. Obviously, the Nuggies are going to be ready to go. I mean, when this guy is, when your head coach is in a media scrum, and he's trying to talk about his team's attitude and his team's what they're thinking. He gave nothing but props, calling Miami a professional basketball team. They're going to have to give Jimmy different looks. All the players on that team have got game. I mean, this is a guy that's got. I believe Denver will come out ready to go tomorrow night.
I think so too. And if Miami wants bulletin board material, they're going to have to make their own.
They're not going to get any from Mike Malone and his players.
No. I mean, did you hear what Joker said after they were up 3-0 on the Lakers? Anybody can come back.
Oh, yeah.
They're not
Nothing's
interested in, we're up 3-0. Let's screw around and this is a 6-game series. Why? But let's play game 4 and end it like it's a game that needs to be ended now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to handle this series the same way. They're not going to look at Miami and say, well, we're the home team and we're a number 1 seed. They have enough respect for Miami to know.
I will say this though. Miami did let the Celtics get back into the thing.
Yeah.
They did let them get back into they had them down 3-0 and they couldn't finish them off. And I'd give the Celtics 1 game, but you would think at game 6 they would have.
Yeah, you close that. I mean, you're at home.
You don't go to a game 7. I mean, they were tempting fate there, don't you think?
They were. If Jason Tatum doesn't roll his ankle early in that game,
I think it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Miami still wins it, but we'll never know. And Jason Tatum was playing really damn good the previous 3 games. And then he has a 14-point game. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that when you sprain your ankle, if anyone's ever done that, tried to play basketball afterwards, it doesn't really work out for you.
Malone did say getting into our arena, we use the altitude to our advantage. It's really important. We have to continue to use it to our advantage. I mean, yeah. But we're talking about elite athletes. Jimmy Butler is an elite athlete. He is a guy that is conditioned. And after a grueling NBA season, I don't know that it's going to be that big of a deal.
I mean,
this is the Miami Heat is not an older team like the Lakers.
Yeah. And I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. But I do agree that Michael Malone, if that's an advantage you have, even if it's a small advantage, use it.
Yeah, you got to use it.
I just think that, at this particular point in the playoffs, guys are, your conditioning is going to be peak of whatever it's going to
absolutely.
be. And if playing in that altitude caused people to lose all the time, this wouldn't be the first NBA finals that the Nuggets were playing in.
888-368-1580 is our text line. 888-368-1580. Let's go to the text line. Oops, I've got a bunch on here. Boomer Sooner says, no, I didn't mean to bring the show down. Sorry, Blender Nation. Boomer is just fine. I got her in the end. Ha. Sort of a personal thing to say on the text line.
Little bit.
Got her in the end. What does that mean, Keelan? I mean,
I'm pretty sure in a divorce.
Swave Dave says, I think Kyler Murray's afraid he'll lose his future baseball career. Been a lot of speculation about him in baseball. If I'm Kyler Murray and I've signed a contract for $250 million to play football,
most of which is guaranteed,
I don't think I'm afraid of playing, baseball at a future time.
Why would you be?
I think my life is pretty much done now. I don't have to worry about bills or, mortgages or health insurance or anything like that in the future. I think I'm pretty well taken care of. I don't think I go out there worrying about playing baseball at a future time. Look, if I'm Kyler Murray and I just got the kind of contract I've got, I'm going to worry about playing football for the Arizona Cardinals. And I'm not going to worry about going out and trying to make more money with the Oakland Athletics, who, by the way, are the worst team. And they look like they're trending towards being the worst team in baseball history.
They had the worst record in May. They won 6 games.
I don't think if I'm Kyler Murray that I'm putting in the kind of work to try to get back on a football field so I can sit on my ass and complain about the Cardinals. I don't think so. From me, and I've heard all the stuff about Kyler Murray, and I've even said, I've thrown in the occasional short, but for me, this guy's a competitor. Okay, he's too short to play NFL football. Okay, I'll give you that.
But even that I don't believe, because there was a stretch there where I believe they won 9 games in a row. You cannot do that in the NFL if you can't play at all. And it wasn't the defense was so good and it was carrying Kyler. Like, the dude was putting up video game numbers for a stretch there in the National Football League.
And it was a different coaching staff. I don't think that was very structured. Quite frankly, I don't care. I don't think Kyler Murray cared for the coaching staff that was in place. I've said it before. I don't think he respected Cliff Kingsbury. I don't think he respected what kind of an offense he was trying to run there. Well, how many times did we see him argue with his coach about play calling? Even D-Hop was kind of frustrated towards the end there. Now it's a new regime. I'd like to see what Kyler does under this new head coach. Yeah, there's been reports about him being a diva and all that business. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Swave Dave, but I don't think he's probably cashing him checks, and he's probably going through his workout, and he's probably thinking, if I finish the NFL strong, I could still play beer league softball because I won't have to work for a living.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
I mean, okay, call him short. Say he's afraid to run the football. I get it. I understand. But I don't think he's out there saying, I'm going to have a future career with the Oakland Athletics. If it were the Rangers, like Russ Wilson, if it were the Yankees or, somebody like that, then maybe I'd see some validity. But the Oakland Athletics?
And when was the last time you saw the Oakland A's open up the checkbook and pay a guy?
Oakland A's?
Even a guy that they drafted who was great.
Bruno Baller wants us to know that Detroit, Michigan and Windsor, Ontario, Canada are just a bridge apart. See, I thought they were close there.
Yeah.
See, and I don't think Detroit's going to give up their franchise to the Canadians. Canadians are up to something. Nondescript says they're tanking for that QB1 pick in 24. Are they, though?
Who? The
Cardinals?
The Cardinals? No, I don't think they're tanking for it. The team just doesn't have a whole lot of talent. And so they're trying to, get out of any contracts that the new regime didn't sign.
Blissful Hayes, how do you recover from a fake injury? A fake injury? I mean, he went pretty far if he's trying to lie about this injury. He had surgery on his knee. Hey, man, I'm going to get surgery on my knee, but there's nothing wrong. Just cut me, doc. Just cut me, man.
If you're going to fake an injury that requires, I got to stretch a little bit, fake an ACL tear. But why?
Mr. Pink Eye says, I think Kyler Murray's worried about injuring his thumb, so he can't play Halo. I don't think he plays Halo. I think he plays Call of Duty.
That is his game of choice. Yeah.
COD. All right. We're up against a break here. When we come back on this day to Big Georgia sports history and some other stuff, I don't know what yet. Anyway, it's a Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more. And you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores.
AutoZone.
See details at AutoZone.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-736-6158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-736-6158. That's 800-736-6158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-736-6158. Again, 800-736-6158.
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. At Compact, we believe in the holistic approach to wealth management, which means that in addition to investing your money, we work with you to establish your short and long-term financial goals to live comfortably now and throughout your retirement. For all the clients we serve, none of them have the same financial resources, risk appetites, and goals. Therefore, we customize a plan for every individual we work with. We also know that your needs and wants will change over time. So we stay in close communication to ensure that your investments and financial plans change with you. If you're looking for this kind of service, call me at 1-800-388-9700 and let's talk about your financial goals and the holistic approach to wealth management. Call 1-800-388-9700. That's 1-800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Before becoming a professional announcer, I took the announcer oath, which forbids me from misleading listeners.
Just wrap your heads around the reality of that.
That means I speak the truth when I say you can listen to us on your smart speaker. Just say, listen to 1580 The Fanatic.
It's the Daily Blender for a Wednesday, May 31st, wrapping up May. Diamondbacks are right now, as we speak, sitting exactly one game behind the Los Angeles Dodgers because the Dodgers lost earlier today.
To the Washington Nationals of all teams. They had the game tied in the 7th. And then they let the mighty Washington Nationals.
The mighty Nationals.
Get the best of them.
The Fighting Nationals. Oh boy. So it's a Diamondbacks Rockies tonight, 6:40 first pitch. Henry on the hill for the Snakes against Lamet. Who, by the way, Lamet has a 12.66 ERA. If I'm reading this correctly. I don't have my glasses on, so it might be higher. 888-368-1580. The Cardinals apparently were not very happy with DeAndre Hopkins. And so I think this is when the divorce started happening. They figured, okay, Kyler's hurt. and we've got two games to play remaining in last year's season. You might recall this. And DeAndre, he sat out and he didn't play. And then the offseason came and, then the trade rumors started. And apparently the Cardinals got a bad taste in their mouth from DeAndre Hopkins because he chose not to play in those last two games. Kyle Odegaard, who previously worked for the team, said that Hopkins upset the Cardinals organization by setting out the last 2 games of the 22 season, even though he was healthy. And it may have been a sticky situation if he remained with the team until the trade deadline. So that's this Kyle Odegaard is who is saying that's why the Cardinals ended up just releasing him. Now, I've been doing a lot of research on this. There's been a lot of speculation on why the Cardinals let him go. And from what I can see is it's a good move, but this year it's going to hurt, but next year it's not going to hurt because there'll be nothing on the books for next season. Had they waited until after June 1st, I think it would have been a different story, right?
They would have been able to basically split it between this year and next year.
Yeah.
So it would hurt a little this year and it would hurt a little next year, but it wouldn't hurt all in total. But they'd already used their post June 1 designation.
With JJ Watt.
Yeah, JJ Watt, and I forget the other player that they used it on. You get 2,
Yeah.
and they used both of them already.
So that's why they decided to cut Peyton Run on this. And I saw something else, and I hesitate even I'm not going to quote it. I was reading something else, and I don't remember the source, and so I don't want to quote it. But I will quote this because I am reading this here. And they said, look, they got got ticked. You know what? He's not a team guy. Now, I want to quickly say I don't really blame him. I don't blame him for not playing. I mean, you are getting paid a lot of money to play football. And it is understandable why he did not play, because he didn't want to get injured. He didn't want to just go out there in meaningless games and get injured. He had already had an injury. He'd already set out part of the season because of the performance enhancing thing. But is that enough for a team to want to release him because of 2 games?
I can't believe so. And I think that if this new regime, if Jonathan Gannon and Monty Ossenfort, and Mike Petzing, the offensive coordinator, if they all went in and said, we need D-Hop on this team, that he'd still be there. But without, anybody else to defend him from, from what happened last year, I think that's how he ended up on the outs, is that the new guys saw the contract and said, let's get out from this. And there wasn't anybody else in the building to defend him.
The more simple explanation on why the Cardinals need to release DeAndre Hopkins is we don't want to pay him nearly $20 million this year, especially if he ends up being a major difference maker for a new team. And so they seem to be willing to throw a pointless dart at him on the way out the door and say, see you later. We don't want to pay you. I just can't see it being those 2 games. I'd have to say there was something more to this.
I think it's more the financial thing. I think you're right. It's about the money, but I also think that if the new regime had said, you know what, we're gonna pound the table for DeAndre Hopkins, he'd probably still be there. But the new regime is looking at the books. They're looking at the finances and going, how much flexibility do we want in the future to be able to make some moves? If our draft picks pan out, if things work out with Kyler, or if they don't work out with Kyler, they want to be able to have the flexibility to move around. And so I think that's the reason why they prioritize getting out from under D-Hop's contract.
Yeah, I just think that everybody is saying that, they're done with Kyler. I don't know that they are.
I think it's a wait and see. If Kyler comes back and he doesn't look the same, or he doesn't look as good, or he doesn't seem to fit in the offense, they're not attached to him. They'll move on. But I don't think that they're prepared to move on from him yet. I think they're going to wait and see what they have.
Bala 51 on the text line at 888-368-1580. I'm trying to stall as the giant circle goes round and round. Let me refresh this and I'll come back to it because holy cow. Why don't we just do this while we're waiting on the text line? It's time now, ladies and gentlemen, for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1968, Don Drysdale's shutout streak stayed intact when home plate umpire Harry Windelstedt ruled that a Dickie Dietz hit by pitch did not attempt to get out of the way of the right-hander's delivery with the bases loaded in the 9th inning. The San Francisco Giants catcher finished the at-bat by popping up, and the next two batters were also made outs by Don Drysdale. So they're saying that Dickie Dietz, catcher for the Giants, didn't get out of the way of the pitch with bases loaded, and you're trying to break up a no-no. This is so baseball. This is so baseball. And the umpires gave the Dodgers a pitcher his 5th straight shutout, tying a major league record. Come on, Harry Windelstedt, umpire. Come on. Are you telling me that he was standing there stiff as a board and did not make a motion to try to get out of the way, Harry? Are you telling me that, Harry? It's 1968, Harry. Nobody wants to get hit by Don Drysdale.
Just get some bone in your body absolutely crushed.
Bala 51 says, could it be the possibility that the reason D-Hop got released and is not signed with a new team because he got popped for another PED test and has another suspension coming? Maybe. I mean, why not? He's supposedly an elite receiver.
Yeah, I just think if that had happened, like the team would have leaked that because that's a really good reason.
Why would the team leak that?
Because then when fans ask why you released him, there you go. They don't have to, put it out there publicly, officially.
Mr. Pringle wants to know, when is Keon going on assignment or vacation? Keon just had a couple of days off. He doesn't get any more for 364.
Or at least until Thanksgiving.
He just had a day off for Memorial Day. He doesn't get another one. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry.
That's how I feel sometimes.
He's too valuable to the organization. We've talked to Radio Ron about him having a day off. Radio Ron says no.
I heard it was currently under consideration. That was a couple months ago, though, so I want to check back in on that one.
I don't have my door slam on this computer for some reason. It's too bad. You're welcome, Big George. All right, so we have a few minutes left here. College football just around the corner. ESPN has announced their start times. Is this a thing, really? Do you look forward to ESPN and CBS reporting their start times?
No. I'm a week-to-week guy. Tell me what's happening week
Does anybody
one.
care what the start times are?
No.
I mean, doesn't everybody kind of know when the starts of a college football game is?
Yeah. It can only be a handful of options. I mean, nobody. I mean, let me not say nobody, but most people don't care about this. They're just trying to do what the NFL does with the schedule release, but they can't do it because we already know like a year in advance who you're going to play next.
ESPN says week 1 begins Thursday, August 31st with Florida at Utah. The kickoff time is 8 p.m. Eastern. Thursday, August 31st.
I mean, there are going to be some games that are not primetime games that you'll raise an eyebrow and go, really? I really would have thought that one would have been. But, no.
Opening week runs through Labor Day and includes LSU facing off against Florida State in the Camping World kickoff in Orlando. That'll be at 7:30 on Sunday, September 3rd. And then Clemson at Duke. Monday, 7th. There's one for the prime time. Clemson just absolutely dismantling Duke live on ESPN opening week. Duke is on prime time on ESPN opening week, September 4th. Make sure you set your calendars.
They've been in more primetime games ever since Daniel Jones put him on the map.
Clemson at Duke, Monday, September 4th. Turn in for the massacre. All right, that's going to do it for this Wednesday edition of the Daily Blender. We left so much on the table. Thank you for texting in. I see you, texters. I'll read them before I get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 over most of these same radio stations. Bye.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-736-6158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-736-6158.